right. So we're just gonna start class off by, calling out to all of our elevated, benevolent ancestors, the ancient ones, all of those that want what's best for us. We call upon you. All of those that want to see us living our purpose and fulfilling our destiny, we call upon you. All of those that want us to have the understanding of how to heal and communicate with them, I call upon you. All of those that want to see us happy, all of those that want to see us healthy, all of those that want to see us living our best life and fulfilling all of our potentials, we call upon you. All of those that want to support us in our everyday life, all of those that want to see us grow and expand and blossom and bloom, we call upon you. All of those that want to assist us in the work we have to do within our bloodline and within our heritage, we call upon you. All of those that want to see us elevated, all of those that want to see us rise, all of those that want to see us overcoming our traumas and our sicknesses, those things that are not well about us, we call upon you. All of those that want to see us living happily, all of those that want to see us abundant and prosperous and joyful on the inside, at peace on the inside of ourselves, we call upon you. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe,
Ashe. So today I'm going to start a little bit differently. If you all don't mind bearing with us today.
So we sure is not here, because if she is, I want to see her on the
She's
screen.
not here.
Oh, okay.
She's came, popped her head in, and now she's gone.
She dropped that energy off.
Thank you, Ia.
Thank you, Ia Losha. Thank you, Baba Losha. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, Spirit, for that power that you just placed within this class. Ashe.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to start a little bit differently today. I wanted to share with you all a story that is in reference to what we are talking about today, which is the language of the gods.
Okay. I'm telling a story.
A little
right
story.
Here is new right here. Like, she be just putting me, like, catching me off guard, yo.
And he gonna jump in, trust and believe. Okay. So back in 2007 is when my spiritual awakening began. Right. It started with really investigating and researching about the culture of the indigenous people here on Turtle Island.
Yes, the Moorish.
And so in that growth, it led me to this class. And in this class, I'm learning, I'm developing. In 2008, I ended up separating from my ex-husband and really having this sense of feeling disconnected, really having this sense of feeling empty, really feeling kind of lost, just like not really knowing what to do, what it was for me to do. Right. However, still continuing on the journey of researching the indigenous ways, learning about herbs, learning about nutrition, and it led me to a retreat. Right. This retreat was actually being held on a sacred ceremonial land here in North Carolina. Right. And the first day of the retreat, there was a lecture going on, and the whole room was filled with people there, except for 2 seats. Mm-hmm. There was only 2 seats left in the whole gallery. And so suddenly this man stands up from where he's sitting and he offers people who's coming in his seat, and then he comes and sits next to me.
That's me, y'all. That's me, y'all. Well, let me just jump in right there. I know, some of y'all have heard this story before, but it just ties in so well, like with this class on the language of the gods and synchronicities, things like that. Like, the part that Osuntola didn't get a chance to tell is like prior to that event, I took a whole year off from any dating, any sex or anything like that, because I was tired of having relationships that, you put yourself into, then they wind up not working. And then you got to go through that whole thing of releasing, and you know what I'm saying? And so I took a year off. I took that vow, like, I'm going to take a year off and I'm going to spend this year manifesting, you know what I mean, the kind of queen, the kind of woman that I wanted in my life. Like, I wanted her to be a reflection, like my twin flame. So I took that whole year to envision her, like to begin that process of envisioning her, like meditating on what it is that I wanted, in her. Like I took a whole year in doing that. And so the reason being, when she walked in, I'm not her, but when, we was in that lecture that day and I saw her walk in, and it was women there, like, it was a cultural event. It was many women there. But whenever she walked in the room, because of that year that I put in preparing for whenever this moment was supposed to happen, like when she walked in, like I felt something jump on the inside of her. You know what I mean? Like, this is her. This is her. And this is why when, people walked in, because I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity, you know what I mean? I'm not just going to let this moment pass, you know what I'm saying? So I gave my seat up, take this seat right here, you know what I mean? So I could go over there and move into the only other open seat in the room, which was beside her. You know what I'm saying? And the story goes on, but what I'm saying is that, like, the importance of, like, living life in that intentional kind of way, like on, like, and what it is that you want to manifest, and then also being able to pay attention to the guidance that comes, like with those prayers that go out, like it's guidance that's going to come.
So I didn't know anything about any of that. I didn't know nothing about guidance. I didn't know nothing about insights. I didn't know anything about all this. Is just, we just living. I'm just living my life. I'm not looking for nobody. I'm not even paying no attention. So he sits next to me. 15 minutes later, I leave.
Right. In the middle, like, go.
Bye. And we didn't even speak a word that day. So the retreat carries on. We get to the last day. And the retreat is, winding down, and he asked if he could speak to me for a moment. So we go outside, and he, he's like, I just want to let you know that I've dreamt about you.
Right.
And I know that we would place in each other's lives to help each other to heal.
Story right, man.
And I'm like, okay, so this is what conscious dudes do. Like, he must be running game, whatever. But his eyes twinkled. So I was like, let me just see what he's talking about. So
right.
We ended up spending like a month, talking or whatever. He invited me out to a retreat, a meditation night that he was hosting. So I go out there more interested in the information still. I'm still on this informational train. Like, okay, what is it that I'm going to learn here? So I go to this event, and the house is saged out. There's deities dancing on the wall. This is the first time I ever saw this in a home. Like, it was like walking into a temple. There's other people there. We get into learning how to meditate, breathe. We get into chanting. We get into Reiki, energy work, all of that. And we go outside. We take a break. We go outside. And he's like, can I touch you? So I'm like, okay. And he rubs his hands together, and he places it over my heart, and my heart heals. It turns into like this gold mending. I was like, okay, so this is new. You know what I'm saying?
It was a wrap then.
Okay, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Okay. The next day, everything changed. Like, it went from being like just regular ordinary society to like birds coming really close to me. I'm seeing energy portals. I'm seeing waves, stardust, all these things, right? So that's back in 2009. 2 years later, we got married to him. Okay. And then in around 2015, 2016, what he and I started to do was go back to this sacred ceremonial land to give honor to the ancestors that brought us together.
But wait a minute, like, let me just throw a little piece.
Don't throw that piece. Okay. Don't ruin the story.
Like, after that, I'm ruining the story.
Because there's an intention.
Okay. Not long after that time, when she came down to visit, and we had those experiences, like, one day she just asked if I wanted to come to her home, and you know what I mean, and spend some time there. So she came and she got me, like, and when I went, like, I never came back. So I had to throw that in there.
That's true too.
Right.
That's true too. So fast forward, we get married 2 years later. Fast forward again, 2015, 16. So now we're going on these late night journeys. If you know anything about us, we love adventure and we're always out at night when there's nobody else outside. So we go to, and we are frequently going to the land that we met on to give honor to the ancestors for bringing us together.
Right.
And so one particular night, we were like, well, we're not going to the land tonight. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go in the opposite directions and see where the ancestors lead us this time. So we go in the opposite direction and we come upon this crossroad. And the crossroad is, of course, left or right. But going to the left is my destiny numbers. Now, back in 2015, somebody who had told me about what my destiny numbers was and told me to always remember those numbers. The number 24, 27, both my destiny numbers are sitting here at the crossroads. So of course we're like, okay, Eshu, we're gonna follow the direction that you're leading us into. We make that left, we end up right back on the ceremonial land.
Right. Like, even though like our intentions was to like, yo, let's go have a different experience, or like let's go somewhere different, like on this ride, like, and we making all these random turns here and there, like we ain't got no destination, like we just riding, like doing our thing, but it put us right back going to the land, like to that sacred land for us. So.
Exactly. Now the interesting part, again, remember I said my destiny numbers led us back to the land. In 2009, I had no idea what those numbers were. I didn't know anything about destiny numbers, but come to find out, the same road that led me to the ceremonial land in the first place in 2009 is the same road that was leading us back to the land in 2016.
Right.
So fast forward, now we up to 2020. In 2020, we got our ancestry DNA readings done. And come to find out that Conjure's people are actually from that sacred ceremonial land.
Those are my ancestors.
Those are his ancestors that we met on. So actually, I went to his people's house to meet him. Right. I went to the cookout, you know what I'm saying, to meet my husband on a land, almost not 8 years prior to us recognizing that those were his ancestors. Fast forward a year. So now we're in the midst of, going through not an initiation, but a process in Ifa that led us to my people's land in South Carolina. And come to find out that my people in South Carolina and his people in North Carolina are part of the same tribe.
Yes.
Where my people are in South Carolina, it's the marketplace. Where his people are from, it's the sacred ceremonial ground.
Right, but this is all one people.
But they're the same tribe, the same people. Mm-hmm. This is how the ancestors speak. This is how the ancestors lead. This is how the ancestors guide. And it's not something that happens immediately. It's little pieces of the puzzle that you can handle over time to lead you to on this journey. You know what I'm saying? That leads you on this journey. That these things that we considered coincidences. I didn't know in 2009 that I was going to meet my husband. I wasn't even looking for him at that time.
But I was looking for her.
And then here we are, 14 years later, to find out that, yes, we met on that land. Yes, that's what his people's land. Yes, that we're just part of the same tribe. Yes, my destiny numbers led me to this. Like, this is the way spirit will speak. These are the signs, the languages of the gods. This is how it can play out in your own life. But we have to be aware of what these signs and synchronicities are as we are navigating life. And so,
and living your life in that kind of intentional way.
I say,
like, this is how we tap into the magic, yo. You know what I'm saying? When you live your life in that adventurous, mystical, magical, you know what I mean, kind of way, like the way that we supposed to be living on earth. You know what I'm saying? That guidance is there for all of us. It's waiting on us.
I say. And so I wanted to start the class out because a lot of times in our life, what we are doing is having these experiences that we are considering coincidences. And because we consider them coincidences, we tend to ignore them or brush them off, not give them the attention that they deserve.
That is calling for.
That is trying to tell you, that is speaking to you, that spirit is actually speaking to you through these coincidences. And so I wanted to share that with y'all today because we are talking about the language of the gods.
Right.
Ashe.
I say, Osuntola.
You know,
All right.
you know. The language of the gods. Communicating between the living and the dead can be intentionally cultivated or it can occur spontaneously. Ancestors contact people who affirm their reality, but the dead can appear to people who don't believe in the ancestors or the afterlife. They can occur, the language of the gods can occur through dream visitations, synchronicities, and in waking encounters in ordinary and altered state of consciousness.
Right. And so like this is like, yo, what we got to understand is like it's a different kind of communication that's going on, like a true communication that's going on in life. Like the issue is that like this society, this system has intentionally made everything distractive around us. Like, you know what I mean? So we can't give it the energy and the attention that this universe, is calling for. Like, especially when it comes to like fulfilling our destiny and getting things right in this lifetime, finding our true path that we supposed to be walking so we can grow, blossom, bloom, and fulfill our destiny. The reason for us coming here in the first place, you know, we have to be able to pay attention to the guidance that the universe is giving us, because the universe is guiding us all every day. Like our higher selves, our elevated ancestors is guiding us every day. And so we have to really understand that and know that, because we are here to, like I said, to grow. Just like everything in nature is doing, it's growing. But what is the light that's supposed to be shining on us that will allow us to grow? Like that, like information, guidance, like this is light we're talking about. And everything needs light in order to grow, so it can bear its fruit. Like we can't remain in the darkness. And so this is what we're talking about when it comes to these synchronicities, like this light that's shining on us. But a lot of times the darkness around us like prevents us from seeing it.
Mostly is that we're being distracted. Society is set up specifically to distract you from the natural occurrences that are happening all around us. So one of the things that I would like us all to really consider as we move through the slideshow is that the ancients didn't have all the distractions that we had. All they had was the ability to pay attention to nature. And that is how they were able to resurrect these heights that we see all across the globe. It's because of their concentration on what nature was saying, and concentrating on what nature was saying, they were getting downloads, they were getting messages, they were getting insights as to what it was that they needed to be doing within themselves, and also as a collective. They worked as a people. They worked as one. We, the people, need to be moving in whatever ways is best for the collective, based off of what spirit was downloading to them. You know.
And this is why it was so important, like doing doing slavery, like it was so important for the divide and conquer, like for them to divide and conquer us, because they understood that oneness that we always share as a community, because that's truly how we live as one. Like I am because of you type energy. You know what I'm saying? We always understood that, and this is one of the things that was taken away from us, that had to be taken away from us in order for them to fulfill, like what they have fulfilled as it relates to like our experience. They had to do that.
Open your eyes to the magic. Our programming hasn't been to pay attention to the synchronicities around us. This is to our own detriment, as we are missing when spirit is speaking. And being able to decipher the language of the gods, it will allow you to intuit your surroundings, making you more than a diviner of cards. It will assist you in becoming a diviner of life.
Like that's powerful in itself right now.
Tuning into the synchronicities with practice will reveal a life full of magical and mystical things. You will recognize the magic within you and around you. You will begin to see your life as an enchanted wonderland filled with magic and spirit.
Yes, y'all, let's think about that. Like, because like we interpret so many things on a daily basis that don't have pretty much anything to do with the knowledge of who it is that we truly are. But what if we truly took the time each day to interpret this universe, like that we are here with? Like what would we be getting from that? Like what kind of guidance would we be getting from that? Like how would we be living our lives if that was the case? if we was interpreting this reality, so we can get the message from this reality, the guidance from this reality. Like we have to truly like free our minds. Like Morpheus told Neo on the Matrix, like the Matrix has been placed all around you, like everything that you are like looking at and you are seeing, like we have to free our mind from it. Like this low level of understanding ourselves and who it is that we are. Like when we are here with this universe, like what is the universe saying? Because we listen to what so much like of what everybody else or everything else is saying, the media is saying, what the music is saying. Like we listen to all of these things and we take time to interpret it and to understand it, and in a lot of cases to get the guidance from it, like while people watch news and stuff, or just like those different avenues. But what if we was living our life interpreting the universe, wanting to understand the universe in that type of way? Like who will we understand ourselves to be? Like, think about that. And this is why we have to elevate our minds to higher levels of consciousness and awareness of who it is that we are. We can't stay down in this matrix, this mundane, all the leading people astray that's going on in everyday life. Like we can't focus on that. They want us to focus on that because in focusing on that, we produce more of it. Like it's a trick.
Yes.
So,
and some of the best diviners are the ones that are paying attention to nature.
Right.
Anybody can memorize anything, but really in truth, what is happening is that what we are supposed to be understanding is that there are patterns, there are cycles that are happening in our day-to-day life. Right. And these patterns and these cycles are teaching us something, or supposed to be teaching us something. Earth is a classroom. It is the marketplace. It's a cosmic school. It is here for us to learn. And so, and who are we supposed to be learning from?
Right. Who are the teachers?
Who are the teachers? You know what I'm saying? Mother Nature. And so the best diviners are divining from a place of understanding or studying the patterns that life is showing, that nature is showing. We can memorize anything, but memorization does not equate to wisdom. It does not equate to an inner knowing. It just means that you're able to reverberate what you have memorized.
Right. And and it's through this communication with nature, this guidance from nature, like that's how we grow. Like we are one with like everything within nature grows. Like how does that happen? Like how does nature guide something from a seed all the way to it's blossoming and it's blooming? It's a guidance there. Like it might be unseen, but we know it's there because we see everything within a plant growing. What needs to unfold, it unfolds. The fruit that it's gonna bear, it bears. Like we are the same thing. We are nature. We are seeds. Like what is the purpose of what is it that I'm gonna bring into this real? Like what fruit am I gonna bear here? Because I know that like that's my destiny to bear the fruit that I come here to bear. That's within me. But we know that everything comes from the inside out. When you plant that seed in the earth, everything that plant is going to be is already on the inside of that seed. And this is why it's important for us to understand ourselves internally, because what's going to come forth in our life is going to come forth from the inside. Like that's destiny. Like this is what we're here to do. Like this is our purpose, is to bring that which is truly already inside of us outwardly and reveal it to the world around us, just like anything else that's here growing. But we have to identify the issue is that most people are not truly identifying themselves as nature in the process of nature. Like whenever we are born, when we come here, like we are born into a process that was already here before we got here. That seed got to be planted. You got to spend that's a process that was already in place. Who is the architect of this process? What is the architect of this process? This is what we have to understand and know, because this process is why I am here. This planting of the seed, the growing, everything I need, the water, like the sun, like the fresh air, like this is a process that brings that guides everything up into its destiny, its blossoming and its blooming. Like we are here under that same process, family. So we know our destiny is to bring forth that which is in us out.
One of the things
bloom.
One of the things that we are encouraging is that you are able to recognize when magic is actually happening around you
Life
so
is
many
magic.
times. Like, right, life is
magic.
Can we just sit here for a moment and think
about
about the fact that at some point of time you were just the spirit, and in the spiritual realm you decided that it was time for you to descend down here through your mother's womb and manifest into the human that you are.
Think about that.
That is magic.
Had to be planted as a seed.
Your actual,
think about it.
The manifestation that you are, the fact that you are living and breathing is magic in and on itself. Like, if nothing else happened in your life, you can look in the mirror and see that you are magic. And so then that means that your life is enchanted. It is magical. It is mystical. That's mysticism. How is that baby? How is Adora here? How is Adora here? Right. You know what I'm saying? How are you here? That's magic and mysticism in itself. And so then from those eyes, understanding you're a spiritual being, understanding that you're pure magic just from conception, your existence, then you should expect to see magic in and all around you.
Right, and magic is in and all around us. It's just the things that they put in front of us to blind us from it. Like, this is why we have to free our minds. This is why. Magic is everywhere. Like, we magic. The fact that, like Osuntola was saying, like, that we have life. Think about that. We are living. Like, what is that force that gives us this
that animates
that animate us, that gives us this opportunity to experience each other? Like, we are living. Like, we not robots, like we not dolls, like we not artificial. Like, we have life. Like, what is that? Like, ask ourselves, what is this life that all of nature is sharing in, that I'm sharing in? Yes. Like, the magic of that. Like, yo, what's the source of this? Because this is what I need to know so I can always possess my life, that I don't lose my life. I want to possess it. But how are we ever going to possess life if we don't like understand even what life is? And you know what I mean? I say, yo.
Spirit speaks through signs. Messages are often overlooked as mere coincidence. We talked about that. And nature is the physical representation of the spirit realm. Right. Many synchronicities are right before our eyes, and the subtlest occurrences. They are not always loud, but once you tune in, they are obvious. Signs everywhere. Spirit is speaking can be as gentle as a feather falling, or as an alarm sounding to get your attention. It can be through a scent, a craving, a vision, deja vu, or a daydream. Okay. It can be in reference to something that reminds you of them, the sun beaming during a specific conversation, thoughts of spirit, your very nature. Paying attention to your experiences and tuning into it all can reveal your ancestors being around you and all that you do.
Okay, just let me tell this short story.
Okay.
It's not going to be long, but you caught me off guard with the story. Just let me get my off guard story.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, like, you know, like when, what was it, 2021, whenever we renewed our vows?
Uh-huh.
In 2021, me and Osuntola renewed our vows on the same land that we met each other on, right? And so, like, before, you know, like, we had the ceremony, our Eolosha that showed up, she was like, well, let me do a reading, you know what I mean, on, you know, like, really what's going on, you know what I'm saying, like, with this ceremony, so we can have that high understanding of what's going on. And so she did the reading. And, you know, me and Osuntola didn't invite anyone to this.
Oh, you gonna tell that?
Me and Osuntola didn't invite anyone to this renewal of the vows. It was just supposed to be me, her, our Eolosha, and our Babalosha. And we didn't even understand, like, why we made that decision. But when that reading came out, Ea said, okay, the High Council of old, like the High Council of old, Heavenly Council of old will be attending y'all ceremony. Like, this is why it's not going to be any physical people here at this ceremony, because the spirits, like, are going to show up at this ceremony. And so we like, okay, so we get out there, we're getting everything set up on the mounds that we are renewing our vows on, and we are looking around, and all of a sudden a white feather begins to fall out of the sky. And so then we knew, okay, the High Council is really here. Let's start this ceremony. You know what I'm saying? But just how nature, how us even being aware enough to understand that message of like that symbol of that feather falling down, what that meant. You know what I mean? For this renewing of the vow ceremony. And this is kind of like what this slideshow is talking about, like understanding the way that spirit communicates with you, because somewhere in there.
Let me just finish that off real quick. So we went through the ceremony. We're not going to get into what actually happened in the ceremony, okay? It was interesting, but definitely interesting. But by the time the ceremony was over, one of the ancient ceremonial sites that we were not anywhere, nobody was anywhere near, all of a sudden start playing this celebratory music.
Right.
Boop, 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 boop,
right.
Loud. It was echoing off the land. Like this is the way spirits do. Like it'll be so sometimes it's as like Conjure was saying, it's just as light as a feather falling from the sky. And then other times it's loud, like, ooh, we did that. Let's celebrate. Y'all, you renewed your vows.
Right.
That's how spirit works. That's how spirit talks. We want to continue to just show you, like, it's not, sometimes it's not obvious, but other times it's very, very obvious.
All right.
Synchronicities. The universe reveals itself through synchronicity. It orchestrates the events, people, and environment and lining them up so that you are exactly where you need to be. Yeah. Synchronicity takes place like a vibrational beacon that transmits a divine message or coded sign back to you, indicating that you are in alignment or on the right path. Synchronicities refers to two or more events which are related in a meaningful way, yet are very unlikely to occur. The ancestors speak through unlikely events that evolves a striking convergence of meaning. Songs, written signs, messages, numbers, spontaneous animal encounters, and signs in nature are some of the ways the world around us will respond to some of the aspects of our inner life and generate meaningful events. It can feel like a deja vu, unpredictable, and can be accompanied by a sense of contact or communication with another being or force. Right. That's spirit.
That's spirit. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much only talking about like we have to really understand that we didn't choose to come into this realm and fulfill the destinies that we decided to come here and fulfill, to not have the instructions on or the guidance that would be needed to fulfill those destinies and those purposes. Like all of that is already inside of us. It's inside of us. It's not going to be anywhere else. It's inside of us. And so it's very important, like this right here is truly talking about like how you are guiding yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? The more you get to know yourself, the more your path will reveal itself. Like, you know what I mean? Guiding yourself from the inside out, because that's the only way it can happen. It's guiding yourself from the inside out. The more clearer you are about who it is that you are, it's going to align you with a purpose that you're going to come to understand about yourself, that you are here to fulfill. It's going to put you on a road. It's going to put you on a path. It's going to illuminate the darkness that's around you.
One of the things that I would like for you all to do as we are going through this is really think about what led you here. Right. How did you get here? How did you get to the etheric touch? Right. What led you to get here to meet us, for us to be going on this journey together? That was synchronicity. That was insight. That was a beacon. That was the call of your soul. Right. You know what I'm saying? So how beautiful is it to know that everywhere you go, that's where you're meant to be. Right. You know what I'm saying? This is guiding you along your path. This is guiding you along your purpose. This is guiding you to your destiny. Right. What's going on in the inside of you is being reflected on the outside of you.
I just have to say, like, just to reiterate, like, this is a way of life, because most people go through their day, all kind of signs and guidance coming from everywhere, but we be so distracted, like we be so unconscious of life and of ourselves that we be missing most of it, if not all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's
this
coincidence.
Yes, like this right here is about consciousness, to be like to have a focused mind each day, like strive to have a focused mind each day, so you can catch those things that, you know, like we're usually distracted from, so we can get on, you know, like our road, our path.
And most of the time, I mean, a lot of times just thinking things are coincidences, when we think something is a coincidence and we brush it off, then we miss something. we're missing something. And it could be saying, don't go left, go right.
Right.
Because left is going to put you into some kind of tumultuous situation, but right is going to lead you into a path of, you know, the beautiful things. We just don't know. Like, we have to be aware. We have to stop brushing off things as coincidences and really understand them as insights and in synchronicities. And that's what we are leading our way up to.
Right. In other words, being conscious of yourself.
Absolutely.
Be conscious of yourself.
The Celestine prophecy, a breakdown on the insights. You are here because this is where you need to be. Your whole life has been a road leading directly to this moment. So in this part of the course, what we're going to do is start breaking down what the insights can look like in your life and how to start recognizing them. Okay.
Yeah, living your life in that kind of way. Like this is the only way to live, yo. Is in this kind of way, with this kind of focus, paying attention, with this kind of detail.
And let me just tell you that we will be doing a book club based off the Celestine prophecy. So even though we are going through the insights now, there's a whole book in relation to it, and audio as well that you can listen to. And we will be having a book club for that as well. The first insight is a critical mass. A new spiritual awakening is occurring in human culture. An awakening brought about by a critical mass of individuals who experience their lives as a spiritual unfolding, a journey in which we are led forward by mysterious coincidences. Noticing synchronicities. Synchronicity is the entry point, the measure of whether we're connected spiritually. These meaningful coincidences are tiny miracles steering us towards the good life. They are always seeking first to awaken us and then to allow us to be guided by a spiritual connection to the unfolding of our intended destiny. Staying in a state of alert expectation concerning the major questions of our lives or the help we need increases the frequency of synchronistic answers. The secret is remembering first thing in the morning to watch for the magical synchronistic moments.
And you know, like really, like whenever we live in ourselves with the consciousness, awareness of ourselves that we should be living life, we're like our oneness with nature, how earth is a garden and we are all seeds that's growing, blossoming, and blooming to one day bear our fruit. Like whenever that seed is planted in the ground, the universe is all like that seed know that the universe is going to orchestrate things in the way that they need to be orchestrated for whatever that's for it to grow. Like that guidance, like, and then plus that seed to know, like when it begins to grow, like sometimes a root will know it has to go deeper. Like, let me stretch out. A tree can know, well, let me bend this way, you know what I mean? So I can get more of this sunlight. In other words, like the guidance is here already. Like this is why we always hear that the universe is only orchestrating life in a way that we can grow and blossom. Like that's a fact, just like it's doing for everything else. You think the universe is doing this for all the things that we see here and it's not doing this for us? Like that same guidance, we have it. We have that same guidance, but we just have to make sure that we are standing like so to say, like in the lights for one. Like we know that the sun is a tremendous reason why things grow here. So we can't just remain in the darkness. Like light is information, get knowledge, get awareness, illuminate yourself. Allow that light of, that knowledge of yourself to shine on you, apply it to your life. Dig deep in your roots and your ancestry. Like we know that our history is our roots. Like our roots have to be strong. Like these things are really easy to understand when we identify ourselves with the oneness that we share within nature and that we are all plants growing here. Roots got to be strong. That light has to be shining on you.
One of the things that stand out to me, I'm sorry, when you finish. One of the things that stand out to me is that because there are already people that are walking in this energy, that are walking in the unfolding of their spiritual journey, that it is illuminating something within us to continue for that to grow, blossom, and bloom. So here we are in our little selves thinking, oh my God, I'm so alone. Nobody understands me. Nobody gets it. I don't know why I'm disconnected. And then there are people that are already in this way of life that is causing these coincidences to occur in your life in order for you to now awaken into your spiritual journey and find these tiny miracles that are happening in your life on a daily basis. All we have to do is open our eyes to see the miracles. All we have to do is be aware that they are there. And every time we acknowledge a miracle, every time we acknowledge a synchronicity, every time we acknowledge an insight, we are increasing the vibrational frequency for it to unfold even more in our lives. Spirit will guide you. You are being guided.
It's guiding everything else.
You know what I'm saying?
It's even guiding the animals, like through their instincts. This is what you do. This is how you live. This is how you hunt. Like that guidance is there. It's in us. We just have to reconnect with it. Like this is why the world has been designed to pull us outside of ourselves, because they know the truth is within. Like that's what's going to line us up. This is what's going to get us right, put us on paths to fulfill destinies and live purposes. All of that is in us. We are all here for a reason. And that reason is within you. What else is it going to be?
So when you wake up in the morning, just know that I'm watching for the miracles that's happening for me today.
Right.
The second insight, the longer now. This awakening represents the creation of new, more complete worldview, which replaces a 500-year preoccupation with secular survival and comfort. While this technological preoccupation was an important step, our awakening to life's coincidences is opening us up to the real purpose of human life on this planet and the real nature of our universe.
Let me say this right here. Like, like, look at that, right? You know what I'm saying? Most people each day are being guided by what they're watching on the television. Like, you know what I mean? Or like just the media, like being guided by that each day, interpreting what happened on the show that they watch, breaking it down, like all of these things, the music, breaking it down. Like, what if we was breaking down ourselves like that? Like, what if we was breaking down this universe in that kind of way, that we wake up, if we are, fortunate enough to wake up each day, and then we are surrounded by this phenomena, like we are here a part of this phenomena, and we are not giving it the attention that it's calling for. We're not. We good in our caves, like we have been intentionally blocked away from it with all of these conveniences, all of these comforts, that remote, like that TV, bam, like all of those things that are put around us to really enslave us and entrap us, like, to put us in a cage, a prison, away from the universe, the wonder of the universe. They're replacing that with all of this misinformation, when the truth is around us every day. Every day.
The world has a spiritual design. This step in consciousness happens when we look back on the spiritual journey of humanity and throughout history. We see that we are in a new phase of human progress. Humanity is now awakening from a materialistic worldview and moving into a new outlook that recognizes spiritual design. This design rewards an attitude of helping others and making the world better. When we adopt this new world perspective, our souls dream of our mission and comes to us, and we move towards this destiny by a near miraculous intuition and synchronistic flow. Thus, we are learning to make our way in the world by finding a spiritual connection and allowing ourselves to be guided. And this way, we're discovering a more detailed understanding of how the world genuinely works. Together with this insight, we can shape another historical era of inspirational life for generations to come. So we can see how we've been living in a materialistic world. There's no doubt about that. We worried about our house, our cars, how much money we have in our pockets. You know what I'm saying? And even now, as we continue to progress, we can see how we are being systematically put in a position to be further away from each other, or at least the attempt to be further away from physical human contact with each other, and having to do so through digital means like we're doing so today, right? The world is being designed purposefully for the superficial, but in the midst of that superficial, everything that happens here is happening in the spiritual realm. There is a balance. It's always going to be a balance. And so in this new design, and Conjure and I have been talking about this new world all year. You know what I'm saying? We are now in the new world. And so what is this new world? What is it that we're looking at? What is it? How are we to move?
How are we perceiving our reality?
What is it that we're supposed to do?
Is it the same?
How are we going to make it better than it has been?
Right.
What is the legacy that we will leave here?
Do we understand that we are all spirits that's here? Like, how are we perceiving ourselves? Do we understand that life is truly a dream? Like what do we have in our consciousness? Like, what are we truly conscious of about this reality that we wake up in each day? Like, how are we interpreting it? Like, that's the key. Like, how are you interpreting like this reality? Because if they can keep us interpreting it from the way that we have been interpreting it, then they're going to keep us enslaved. Like, this is what this is about.
And don't
enslavement.
Don't think that because like they're doing it anyway, but how are your lack of awareness of it allows you to be a battery for it.
Right. To empower it.
Your lack of awareness of it is point. You charging the system, you charging the superficiality, you charging the materialistic worldview instead of taking your energy back and being able to utilize it in a way that's not only uplifting for yourself, but it's uplifting to others, to the world, to Mother Nature. Like, this is the new worldview. This is the spiritual design. This is the destiny of the planet. This is human progress. This is how we evolve.
Listen, and like they told us in the Matrix once again, like when Morpheus took Neo inside of the computer, when they all got to the end, he said to turn man into what?
That battery.
So they can get up and, like this system, like we get up each day to be a battery, like for them to drain our energy for what this system is designing itself to do, like whatever the agenda is, like it's designed to drain us. It's designed to use us like batteries, because like we have been given energy within our being. Like we are really that. Like we are energy. Like we harness energy just like a battery does. And they understand that, and they want to use our energy. They want to use our intelligence. They want to use our force, our power to sustain this system. Like this is what Morpheus was explaining to Neo, and this is what the Matrix is. It has turned us all into batteries, so where we just be drained on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, this is the awakening that, like, we have to retain our energy now. Like, have to utilize our energy for the agenda. Wait a minute, we coming? Okay, give us a.
Ask Alexis to help you.
Yeah, like for like we're just empowering like the same thing that we say we want to be free from. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We are empowering it, most of us. And this is why we have to take our energy back from it. Like this is the only way that we can see this system fail or fall or be obsolete, like when it doesn't have the energy to support it, to sustain itself.
The third insight is a matter of energy. We now experience that we live not in a material universe, but in a universe of dynamic energy. Right. Everything extant is a field of sacred energy that we can sense and intuit. Moreover, we humans can project our energy by focusing our attention in the desired direction. Where attention goes, energy flows, influencing other energy systems and increasing the pace of coincidences in our lives. Giving is the karmic design. We integrate the third insight when we realize the universe is not dead, not a dead, uncaring place. It is an energetically connected environment that is spiritually constructed to bring our greatest dreams into fruition. All we have to do is align our lives with the universe ruling principle, giving. To receive this new worldview, we must understand and live in alignment with the universe's karmic design. We begin to fulfill the latest discoveries of quantum physics. As we open up to the synchronicity and intuitive guidance, we realize that we share minds with one another and the divine. The path is this majestic life lies not in ruling others or taking what we want. It lies in always looking out for the best interests of others and at the same time striving to perceive something that they need in order to manifest their dreams. If we give them this information, it feels synchronistic to them and elevates their lives.
Right. And I just want to touch on the giving aspect. Like when we look at ourselves, right? Like all the things that we like our design. Like something has given us our eyes that we see with. Something has given us these ears that we hear with, these teeth that we eat with, this heart that's pumping our blood. Like, yo, this food that we eat on like that Mother Nature produces, this water that we drink, this fresh air that we breathe, like these things are being handed to us. Like, we know there's it's a system here now that's trying to separate us and make us pay for everything, but the original design of this universe, these things are being given to us. And this
Mother
is
Earth
why,
is abundant.
right. And this is why we have to share in that same kind of spirit, like that giving kind of spirit with one another, which will become easier when we understand ourselves as spiritual beings, because that's how we're going to understand the oneness that we truly share. So when giving to another, you are truly only giving to yourself. Like, this is the kinds of awakenings that we are here to have, because this universe is truly one. Everything in nature is sharing in the same spirit of life. Everything is. Like, it's the mental, like like what they have downloaded into our minds now that we think that we are something separate, that we are something different from one another, that we are not one, and that we are at competition or this war, or we got beef. You know what I'm saying? From who it is that we think that we are. But we have to go beyond our thinking. This is why we have to get back in touch with things like intuition, or that inner knowing. You know what I'm saying? I know that we are one. I know that we are sharing, that we are only different expressions of that same force of life. How am I not supposed to love you and care about you and be there for you? You know what I mean? Be the best version of myself for you, and you be the best version of yourself for me. You know what I mean? Like, this should be natural.
If you've seen the Avatar, I love the Avatar. If you've seen the Avatar when they were in front of the their sacred tree, and how they all sat around their sacred tree in harmony, right? Energize, and so that tree is
to the earth.
Right. The tree is energizing them, right? Giving unto them, and they are giving unto the tree.
Right.
And then they are giving unto each other. You know what I'm saying? This energy, this flow, like we all connected to that. And so one of the things that society has programmed us to is to think that everything comes at a price. You know what I'm saying? Everything comes with it. Like, you have to be able to pay for this to have this. If you can't pay for it, then you can't have it. And that's actually the superficial way of looking at things. It's artificial.
And to keep it even realer, you know what I'm saying? This really is the European mind state. This is not the indigenous mind state. Like, to come and possess the land. This is mine. This earth is mine. This water is mine. Like, this land. No. You know what I mean? We are all, like, this has all been given to us. Like, we're not here to possess it. Like, we are here to be in harmony with it. Like, this is not about possessing this universe. So this is a European mindset. You know what I mean? To possess it. You know what I mean? To objectify it. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the natural way.
And how many times have, one of the beautiful things also too about what this is talking about is where energy, like where your attention goes, energy flows, right? So that means that whatever you're giving your attention is what you're manifesting in your life.
Energy follows.
You know what I'm saying? It's following your thoughts. So what does that tell us? That we create our own realities, right? And how many of you, I know, you know, most of you have had readings with us. I'm thinking all of you have at this point. How many times have you in that reading said, man, you just confirmed what I was thinking, doing, seeing, whatever? You know what I'm saying? But is it because that we're giving our energy to you? Are we giving you the energy that you need to be in alignment for these coincidences to unfold in your own life? Like, this is part of this third insight. Understanding where your energy where your attention goes, energy flows, and you have the ability to influence people's lives.
Right. So this is really about taking our power back, because remember, they are utilizing our power. Like, they have turned us into batteries. So this is about taking our power back, our birthright, like those things that, you know, that are our birthright, these abilities, these powers that we are born with, that in most cases have become latent. Within most people, because they have become so weak because of the draining of it, like giving it away, like giving it away to this system, giving our psychic power away to the television, not knowing the things that we watch on television, how it impacts our psyche, like the music that we listen to, how these things impact our psyche. They be draining our powers, and the importance of shedding these things off and understanding how they are impacting our psyche. Like this is all about knowledge of self, family, as being one with this universe. Like that's it.
Yes.
But it seems so hard for most people to understand that even though we are here with the universe right now, we are here with everything that we are talking about right now. It's undeniable that we come from seeds, that we are planted just like everything else, that we grow, that we blossom, and then we are one day designed to bear fruit. But everything else is here doing that. But it's so hard for us to have that kind of understanding within our own selves. Like, why is that? Like, what is that which is that is blinding us? Like, why do we have eyes and we can't see this? And it's everywhere. It's us. It's who we are.
Let's go through the insight. There's more to the third insight.
Good gracious.
What's more, when we practice improving in this way, it creates an immediate karmic effect in our lives. When we help others, we karmically begin to attract people into our lives who act the same way. They in turn help us. These helpers are also being given intuitive suggestions on how they can help us.
Right.
We experience their aid as exactly what we need at the very moment to extend our destined flow in life. When we adopt this outlook and ask ourselves, how can we be of service to another? Our minds connect more deeply with the divine mind, and our intuitive capacity thus opens up. As this happens, we receive an intuition suggesting a specific way this person needs information or direct aid. The key is always to seek to be in synchronicity for others, and by giving them just the right information and help they call for at the time of our encounter with them. And this way we begin to experience the transforming reality of becoming an agent of the divine. Yes. What would God do to help if he couldn't help, if he couldn't come and instead sent me? The wish to help others opens us up to our divine connection and strengthens our union with higher intelligence. We can also prove this reality to ourselves by noticing what happens if we decide to pursue the opposite course in our life and become not a giver, but a taker. The same karmic principle is in effect. If you take, you will draw people who will take from you. If we manipulate others or steal energy for our own personal gain, we find that we are being treated the same way ourselves. This is not for punishment. It allows us to feel what we are doing to others and come back into alignment with the way the world is designed to work. By getting into alignment with karmic design and helping, we attract more desirable, life-enhancing connections with others, thereby injecting synchronicity into our lives. Thus, giving to others brings forth the exact divine coincidences needed for our dreams to come true. All we have to do is participate.
So much.
I mean, it's just a beautiful thing to know, really. Honestly, so many times, especially in ET, I hear, this always happens to me. Somebody is always doing this to me or doing that to me, but we don't recognize how we are putting that energy out ourselves. We're not looking at ourselves to see how we are attracting it. Just like we were talking to Jay earlier about you being able to attract that which you are. You attracting the frequency that you are. So every time we are tapping into the divine guidance, the divine connection, and showing up, I don't know how many different times. Let me just say this. I don't know how many different times somebody has said, you don't even know how you have helped me when I show up. And this is not me intending to do anything, but just show up. You know what I'm saying? Right. But just in that showing up, it helps somebody in some kind of way. And guess what happens? Because I've shown up in this type of way, being open to this, just about really being open to it. It's not that you're purposefully seeking to, okay, well, I got a message for you. That's not necessarily it. Messages will flow as they flow. Spirit will talk as it talks. But because I'm open to being a vessel for this universal life force energy, this is what we talked about in level 1, because we are open to it and God sent me in his place, then what happens when I am in need of assistance? Somebody calls, somebody texts, somebody says, hey, I have something that you need, or you came to my mind, or I dreamt about you, or this is what, I've come to offer you.
Right. And this is why we want to see people in those elevated levels of consciousness of themselves, because we don't want to be around people that's telling us all the wrong things. You know what I mean? From those low vibrational egotistical places. We want elevated beings around us, because we know that the divinity is within them as well, and they bring messages through. and they assist us and they guide us, you know what I mean, as well. Like Osuntola was saying, like, I'm so grateful for the people that was in tune enough to call us up and to deliver the messages that they have for us. You know what I mean? In
Every
our life.
time. Let me just say this real quick.
Right.
Let me just say this real quick. Y'all know we have been talking about all year that we're experiencing the death into this new world, right? And so, like, quite literally, and I'm going to talk about it one day, not today, but quite literally, we actually experience death literally in our lives in a spiritual type of way that me or Conjure have never experienced before. Right. And there were several individuals that called during that time. Yo, sis, don't worry about it. This is just what has to happen. Right. Yo, sis, don't you understand that you're essential in this new world that's being birthed, bruh? Don't you know that your insight and your wisdom is needed here on this planet at this time? Don't give up. In times that we wanted to. Right. In times that we wanted to, but that's only a reflection of how we continuously show up in other people's lives to help them to open up their sense of awareness of themselves, their own purpose, their own healing, their own divinity within their own lives.
Yeah, they might be going.
It's the synchronicities. It's the divine connection.
We have to be there for each other.
We have to.
We are one. Like, we are communal people. Like, we live as one. How do they say it? I exist because of you, or how does that say?
Because they were, we are.
Yeah, because you are, I am. Because you are, I am.
You know,
living in that kind of way, like that's our heritage, that's our culture, that's our way of being natural on earth. This is what's natural for us. Mm-hmm. This is the universal design that we are all under right now. Yes. But it has been replaced with the artificial, unnatural design that most people govern their lives from that unnatural design every day. When nature is all around us, the design, like, who designed nature? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are the questions that we should be asking ourselves. Let me understand this great design that I'm a part of. Because of this design, I'm here. Let me understand that design so I can understand myself and what I am here for. Because, like Morpheus or Trinity told Neo, the Matrix can never tell you who you are. It can never do it. Like, your answers, you will never find it.
You will never find it in the Matrix.
You will never find it in the Matrix. It cannot reveal to you who you are.
That's a word right there.
But within this universe,
you are so wise.
Within ourselves, remember the seed. Everything is already within the seed when it's planted. Everything that seed will ever become. It's in it. There. We're under that same law. Like, we followed that same process. We begin from that same place as a seed. With everything that we are here to do was already within us. And it's still within us. But we just have to tap back into it.
Yes.
It's there.
The fourth insight is the struggle for power. Too often, humans cut themselves off from the greatest source of this energy and then feel weak and insecure. To gain energy, we tend to manipulate or force others to give us attention and their energy. When we successfully dominate others in this way, we feel more powerful, but they are left weakened and often fight back. Competition for scarce human energy is the cause of all conflict between people. The human control drama. When we seek the ethic of giving and not taking from or manipulating others, we step into consciousness. We begin to detect our ego's past manipulation devices, the control dramas we have used to build ourselves up at another's expense. If we are mindful and catch ourselves every time we begin our control drama, eventually our control drama falls away completely. The dramatics begin to fall away when we can stop ourselves before we ever lapse into such a trap. Now, through giving, we can move forward synchronistically in freedom, ready to experience even more extraordinary moments of God's connection.
And so, like, yo, how many times that we, were around someone and then, like, we'd be like, yo, that person drained. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that was draining. Like, how many times has that happened? Like, and the reason being is that in a lot of cases, people come for your energy. Like, it'll come in different kind of, or come on with their problems, and you know what I mean? And just, like, people pull from you in many different kind of ways because they feel like you got something that they need. And you know what I mean? But what if we understand, like, the source of all power? Like, what if we were all connected to the source of universal power that we are already connected with?
We are
But by
connected
us
to.
not being aware of that, we go to other people to drain them of their energy because we're not connected to the source of all energy. But what if we understood that we are connected to the source of all energy? And I don't have to come to you to try to manipulate and drain you of your energy. In fact, I can give you energy. I can give you energy because I am energy. Like, I'm coming to you to give you energy. Like, we support each other. I'm coming to help support you. You're coming to help support me. We're here to build each other up. Like, this is the way that this is the natural way of thinking. So we're here to build each other up.
So this just brings me into why we asked you to keep your cameras on during class. This is the reason why we asked you to keep your cameras on during class. Because you actually show, like, what you don't know is during the class, I'm flipping through to see your faces the whole time. And every time a light bulb clips up, it feeds us even more. So now we going in even harder. You see what I'm saying? Like, you are actually giving us your energy to feed you. You see what I'm saying? And this is part of the reason I wanted to show it to you in a way that was not a manipulation, but in a way that is it's natural and it's beneficial. You see what I'm saying? This is the beneficial ways of giving energy. I see your face, I'm like, ooh, Mocha's there. Ooh, Jama is here in the house. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, well, let me go in hard for my people real quick. I want to feed you. That's what I want to do. I show up to feed you. And then, so when I see your face, you're feeding me. You don't even have to say nothing, but you're feeding me because you're here and you're paying attention, and it's moving you. It's moving your spirit in some kind of way. And so if I came on and I'm in a funky behind moon, so today, dry eye, red eye, you know what I'm saying? Then you're not getting what you need. You're not getting what you need, right? It's not feeding you. Why would I want to come to class next week? I ain't going back to their class. They drained me. You see what I'm saying? This is how it works. You know what I'm saying? These are the two contrasts of what we're talking about for the struggle for power. We don't have to struggle for power. We have connection to the infinite power. The source. As melanated beings, we have deep connection to the source of all things. Life. Of creation.
That we know for a fact is here. That we know this energy is here because everything around us is living. What is that force? It's here though. It's the force of life. That we all are partaking in, but most people lose aware, like they're not even conscious of that. Like, this is why life is about what you are conscious of. What is it that you're perceiving on a daily basis? What are you really aware of? Is your consciousness constricting or is it expanding?
Ashe. The fifth insight is the message of the mystics. Let me move this so I can read. Hold on, y'all.
She did a lot of writing. Good, great.
Insecurity and violence ends when we experience an interconnection with the divine energy within, a connection described by mystics of all traditions. A sense of lightness and buoyancy, along with the constant sense of love, are measures of this connection. If these measures are present, the connection is real. If not, it is only pretend. The spiritual connection. We break through, at least momentarily, to experience a moment that seems to move us past our normal levels of consciousness, and we sense an ultimate connection. Sometimes this event comes through a spiritual practice, which we found that brings us to this moment. It could be a peak experience at a house of worship, or through prayer, meditation, music, communing with nature, or a host of other points of entry. Instantly, we receive a fast forward boost in our sense of well-being, peace, and even blissfulness. And an experience described by prophets and saints as a greater sense of knowing and wisdom, and the deep emotion of love, convincing us even more by foretelling that spiritual consciousness is real and provides a look ahead to the levels of awareness, the ultimate goal of spiritual evolution.
So that's a great question, like, that we can ask ourselves, like, what is keeping us from that ultimate connection? Like, what's keeping us from that? Like, when we know that we are all one, like everything is one, like spirit is one, life force is one, like we are all connected in the most intimate way, like we are one. But what's keeping us from that ultimate connection that we should be sharing, you know what I mean, and living our lives according to? It's the prisons, it's the boxes that we have placed ourselves in. It's the me thinking I'm this and thinking you that. It's the separation. You know what I mean? That's keeping us from that bond, that oneness, that, you know what I mean, love that we should all be walking in together, because we know that's what reality is. And this is what it's about. Like, yo, is a person, how much of reality is a person living in? And we have to live our lives like even aware of that, like before we invite certain people into our lives. It just, you know, as it relates to how close someone is going to be with you, or who it is that you walking with, like what kind of reality is this person living in, or am I living in? Like, how am I aware? Like, how much awareness do I have? Like, these are real things, even though these are just simple words coming out of my mouth. But if we are truly conscious, then we are conscious of the fact of how can this not be true when we are here on this earth, in this universe, experiencing this life force, breathing this breath, like sharing in the same spirit. Like, how aware? Like, yo,
I think
these are facts.
one of the things that we can point out to you all, if you have experienced any of the events or retreats that we have had, what has happened there? Did you not feel spirit?
Right.
Did you not feel that connection
That oneness
to the oneness that is of all things?
Right.
And did that not give you the boost to come back into regular living? Did it not take you a while to come back into quote unquote reality?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what happens when the two or more come together in agreement to be in connection
with them scriptures, girl. I got you.
You know, I'm learning all that. But that's what happens when we all come in together in this understanding, this awareness, this consciousness that we're all spiritual beings having this human experience. Yo. This is how magic flows.
And how like really simple is that to understand, when we know that when the spirit leaves the body, this is what they call death. When the spirit leaves the body. So we know that we are truly spirit, and the essence of who it is that we are, spirits that are having a human experience.
Y'all people hot again. Can I get us some water? You got some water? Thank you, sir.
You know what I mean? Like, this is the natural mind state that we should be possessing. Like, all of us should have a universal consciousness. You know what I mean? Like, that is the consciousness that we should be, you know what I mean, utilizing on a daily basis. Our awareness of our oneness with nature, our oneness with this universe, our oneness with each other. Like, that is the natural consciousness that we should be possessing.
Yes. The sixth insight is clearing the past. The more we stay connected, the more we are acutely aware of those times when we lose connection, usually when we're under stress. And these times we can see our own particular way of stealing energy from others. Once our manipulations are brought to our personal awareness, our connection becomes more constant, and we can discover our own growth path in life, our spiritual mission, the personal way we can contribute to the world. Sensing a life mission. Experiencing moments of profound spiritual connections open us up to the sixth insight. We begin to receive a sense of clarity for where synchronicity is taking us, what our life direction might be. This consciousness brings the strong intuitions and guides us to our mission in this life. This could fall within any area of human endeavor or in the areas of life from relationship to finding passion in a career, education, business, medicine, or government services. It is usually a vague glimpse of our future destiny and one that invokes in us a heightened sense of inspiration and fulfillment. Though someone undetermined, our intuition can stand as a general goal that will help us understand and follow our synchronistic path and help us to move forward.
Right. So to me, that's just like, yo, this body, you know, like we can, you know, kind of look at this body as being a vehicle for what? Spirit, like, you know, like who needs eyes? Like who needs these ears to hear? Like who, like what needs this nose to smell? Like this mouth to taste? Like it's the spirit that's occupying the vessel, the vehicle. You know what I mean? So allowing spirit to have its way in our life. This is what this is about. It's about allowing spirit to have its way in our life. The issue is that so many people have become mundane, like allowing just the physical impulses and the mind, you know what I mean, guide them. And this is what one of the biggest issue is, because we are all spiritual beings. Like, how does spirit want to utilize this vessel authentically? You know what I mean? And this is how when that happens, then spirit already knows. We know spirit already knows. So spirit is going to get us in alignment with that which we're supposed to be in alignment with. It's going to naturally begin to happen in our life.
One of the things that I wanted to just mention is that, the beginning of the Etheric Touch starts with soul care. That is purposeful. It's so that you can start to tune into the connection with spirit. Right. Whether you recognize it or not, your own personal spirit, right. Your higher self. You know what I'm saying? And in that connecting with your higher self, what is naturally occurring is as the steps, is the journey towards your life mission, your life's direction. You know what I'm saying? You're awakening, and you start to get these glimpses of, I know I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be doing something different. And you start taking those steps to start doing things differently. Right. You know what I'm saying? That will unfold, in your life over time. Right. But these are the steps. And so I just want to take this time to really applaud all of you that have stuck with us up until this point. Right. Because many people stop when they recognize that at level 1 that we're talking about self, they don't get to come into the ancestral piece. They don't get to come into the spiritual piece. And so they end up missing out on all of this information, understanding that their purposes are unfolding, but you have to be okay with it gently unfolding in your life.
And being held accountable from the way your life is going. Like, people don't want to take accountability. You know what I mean? That's one thing people don't want to do. Most people. They want to be like most people feel better when they're able to point their finger at someone else. Like, they don't want to look in that mirror.
The 7th insight is engaging the flow. Knowing our personal mission further enhances the flow of mysterious coincidences as we are guided towards our destinies. First, we have a question. Then the dreams, daydreams, and intuitions lead us towards the answers, which usually are synchronistically provided by the wisdom of another human being. Following your intuition, with our mission in mind, and as our lives move forward, we begin to notice synchronicities aimed at our ultimate calling. And this buildup of consciousness, we become aware of our intuitive guidance at a higher level. Through practicing mindfulness, we can distinguish our thoughts that are intuitions from mere calculative thoughts. Calculative thoughts are words that run through our minds as we make decisions, as though we are talking to ourselves. Intuition, however, are not part of our deliberation over a problem or a goal.
And like, I always got to take everything back to like, how we see this on a daily basis. Like, nature already teaches us that what you put out comes back to you. Like, what you put out into this universe is going to come back to you. So if a person is truly seeking the answers to themselves and the reason why they're here and what they're here to do, then you'll put that energy out, and the universe is going to do what it has been designed to do. It's going to bring the answers back to you. You reap what you sow. Like, is that not how life works? Like, this is how life works. So we just have to put that we truly want to understand out. Like, this is what people do every day anyway with the things that they want to do or the things that they want to learn. They first put the intentions out. I want to do this, or I want to learn that. And then, life aligns itself to where they can get what they're searching. But this is why we have to have that higher understanding of ourselves and who it is that we truly are. So we can put these higher intentions about things that are really real for us out into the universe, because that same process is going to begin to happen. The universe is always conspiring for us on our behalf. This is what the universe does. It conspires for everything that we see here to be here. The universe has conspired for that. And we are here. The planting of the seed, like, that's part of the conspiring process. The baby getting all the nutrients from the mother in the belly. That's a part of the conspiring process. You give birth to the baby. The breast filled up with milk. That's a part of the conspiring process. And it does not stop throughout our whole life. This is the natural design. So what are we putting out to truly understand about ourselves? Because all we have to do is truly put it out, and it will come. That design it cannot be broken.
Intuitions come from a superior part of our intelligence. They naturally appear in the back of our minds as clarifying ideas on how to proceed. In short, they are ideas that sometimes seem too random, spontaneous, not logical, but upon greater interpretation, they can be observed to apply perfectly to the situation at hand. Once we begin to identify guiding intuitions in this way, we realize how we have been missing them in the past. One way to clarify the different types of thought is to ask yourself, why did I think of this now? Once we learn to identify intuitions, we realize how they bring forth synchronicities, another elevation of awareness occurring. First, we receive the intuitive picture, an urge to end or begin something, to solve a problem, or to pursue some line of interest. Then, if we follow the guidance diligently with mindfulness, an important synchronistic breakthrough will take place, thus leading our lives forward to our greater calling. And this way, following our intuition is the key to increasing our synchronistic flow and maintaining our flow of destiny.
Right. And so like what this is like what I get from that is the importance of the first eye. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is why we're missing so many spiritual things because that first eye and most people is calcified. It's going over your head. Most people can't see it because we're so trained to using these mundane eyes to just be aware of this mundane world. But let me ask you, what eye are we using when we dreaming at night? How are we seeing into this spiritual reality? That's a spiritual eye. This is what the ancients call the first eye or the gateway to the universe. How much access, like how open is that aspect of who it is you are, because this is a part of you like of who you are. Like you are utilizing that eye when you're having them dreams. It's you looking off into the spiritual reality with that spiritual eye. This is a power that you possess. And so the more that that eye is open, so we can begin to see this reality that we exist in a spiritual way. This is how we catch all of these spiritual and subtle guidances that we be missing because our outlook is so mundane about who it is we are. But that eye is there, and can't nobody's going to have the the opportunity or be able to say that I didn't possess that. I didn't have that ability. I didn't have that spiritual eye in this lifetime. Nobody ain't gonna be able to say that. We have it, right? We use it, right?
And sometimes it does seem
It's
random.
there.
It does seem spontaneous. It seems like it came out of nowhere, like, oh, why did I think about that? You know what I'm saying? Where did that come from? Oh shoot, why did I do this way instead of doing it the way I usually do it? You know what I'm saying? That's intuition. What we are doing right now and learning about these insights is really tapping into the clairs, the clairvoyance, the clairaudience, the clairsentience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These are the clairs. These are your spiritual gifts. This is how you are
This is who you
awakening
are.
to them.
This is who
You know
you
what I'm
are.
saying? We all have spiritual gifts that are at our disposal if we know how to tap in, and that's through the mindfulness. That's through being guided. Like your practice. Like I can't say it enough. It is always obvious when you're doing the work, and it has nothing to do with any judgments that I place upon you. It shows up in your life.
And I just want to say, like, yo, like, just think about how most people live their life on a daily basis. Like you'll meet people that can break the most complex thing down for you. Like, take a car apart and put it back together because they have such a great understanding of that car, for an example. But how much understanding do we have of that which we are in possession of? Like what makes us us?
Mm-hmm.
How much do we understand that? Because we understand so many other things. But when we understand who we are, then we understand that which we possess, these abilities that we truly have, those things that are at our, you know what I mean, like for us to be utilizing.
Mm-hmm.
To, you know what I mean, to govern ourselves here. But we have to know ourselves. We have to know our own powers and our own abilities. Yes, I can see off into the spirit world. I got the spiritual eye. Yes, I do have intuition. Yes, I am utilizing a mind, but I have to be even mindful of the thoughts that I'm thinking every day because I possess a mind. Power. And so we can utilize that which we are to our greatest potential. Mm-hmm. Because we have these abilities. We can see off into the future. We can see off into the past. We can do all of that.
The eighth insight is the interpersonal ethic. We can increase the frequency of guiding coincidences by uplifting every person that comes into our lives.
Because we are one.
Care must be taken not to lose our interconnection in remote romantic relationships.
Because we are one.
Uplifting others is especially effective in groups where we feel where each member can feel each other's energy, the energy of all others. One. With children, this is extremely important for their early security and growth. By seeing the beauty in every face, we lift others into their wisest self and increase the chances of hearing a synchronistic message. Giving energy increases our synchronistic experiences. Once we clearly see the process of synchronicity, what we observe most often is that people provide many of our synchronistic experiences, yet sometimes others don't feel comfortable talking to us, related to the commonly used first impression theory.
And what we just have to understand about life is that everything is communicating with everything else. Like the birds, like I'm listening to the birds right now. It's saying something, you know what I mean? Can't catch it in my conscious mind, but my subconscious mind is catching it. You know what I mean? Like this universe is communicating with itself. And this is one thing that the movie, the Avatar, was breaking about, what them scientists was getting to understand about that. You know, what was the place called? What was the place called? Pandora is that it was one interconnected system. We are all one interconnected system. Like our life is the same. No one is sharing in a separate life force. Like this is my life force. Like I can't. No one is sharing. Like we are all sharing in the same life force. And if we don't come to these understanding, there is no new world. There is no new world for you. If we can't come into this realization of who it is that we truly are, that we can wake up from this spell, break free from this illusion, set ourselves free to be one again with each other, with the universe, with all of nature, so we can feel what it truly feels like to be alive. So we can really understand what it means to be among the land of the living, what that feels like.
And so in spaces where now you have you've opened up to your intuition, to the divine guidance, to the connection of the universe, and you receive a download, and let's say it was for me. Suppose that download was for me, but you don't want to come to me and tell me about the download. Then I'm missing out on something. I'm actually missing out with I'm missing out on something that you were supposed to give me, because Spirit gave it to you to give to me.
We know how that works.
You know what I'm saying? When we find another step in consciousness, when we grasp the solution to this problem, we must adopt an additional ethic towards others, one which enhances our attitude of giving as we communicate with them. We must actively uplift others by visualizing an expression of a higher connected consciousness in their eyes and on their face. Continue to visualize them moving above their ego into an authentic united state. As a result of this, not only is the person lifted into a greater level of experience, they are more likely to intuit some messages that they have for us. So look at that again, where when our attention goes, energy flows. When we are looking at you from the highest standpoint of who you are, I'm looking at your higher self. I'm not looking at the egocentric self of who you are, but I'm looking at your highest self. It feeds your energy field to be comfortable, vulnerable enough to share the messages that Spirit had for you to give to us. This is why it's so important for us to be able to be confident in what Spirit is saying. Be confident in what you are hearing, what you are experiencing. Write those things down, even if it's just for you in your journals. Come to the group and write and talk about them, because the more you talk about them, the more you experience them, the more comfortable you will be in showing up when it's time for you to show up.
And then also putting yourself in the position to where people can come back and feed you energy. This is how this works. People come right back and feed you energy then. You know what I mean? And understand this is all a part of the universe healing itself. Like what is this blockage that's keeping the life force from being experienced between us and this whole like what is preventing that? Because whatever is preventing that, the universe got to get that out the way. It got to get it out the way, because the whole, you know what I mean, the truth is we understand that we are one. Like we're supposed to be sharing and connecting and energy and who it is that we are, like helping each other elevate, helping each other grow. Like we are one. Like that understanding will come back to reality. it's gonna come back because it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's the truth. And so we are sharing in that process right now. Like this is what's going on. And so this is the universe conspiring for itself to heal.
Ashe. The ninth insight is the emerging culture. As we all evolve towards the best completion of our spiritual missions, the technological means of survival will be fully automated as humans focus instead on synchronistic growth. Such growth will move humans into a higher energy state, ultimately transforming our bodies into spiritual form and uniting this dimension of existence with the afterlife dimension, thus ending the cycle of birth and death, fulfilling human destiny. We can now see how if everyone were practicing this virtue of uplifting others, we would quickly accelerate the spiritual transformation of the world. It works this way. When someone uplifts us, we feel it as an increased energy, and because we receive a greater experience with the divine mind. When we return this energy, it moves our heightened energy back into them. Both people doing this creates a hot house effect back and forth, where both people feel their divine connection getting stronger and stronger. Think of the where we gather phenomenon. When this goes viral, then everyone can quickly identify their life missions and can synchronistically move to the right place of service.
Right.
One of the things that hit me right away is that my sister friend is she calls herself a spiritual doula for up and coming businesses. And speaking with her, she'll talk about often that we can see how the powers that be are creating this superficial world. But for every time they are doing something in this superficial world, it also is indicating to us what is happening spiritually. It's a reflection of what's happening spiritually. And so even with these things that we see that they are automating, right? They're automating our digital life. We can also understand that our spirits are automating as well. We are growing. The synchronicities are only growing. The insights are only growing. The critical mass is only growing as time continues to reveal itself. And so what is ultimately happening is what Conjure said earlier. Earth is healing itself.
Right. And so when you look at now how they always systematically throw things in the media to try to keep people afraid, and because they feed off of that energy. Like that's that battery energy. You know what I'm saying? Like the CERN thing, right? So we have to understand, okay, like what's happening in the spirit world. You know what I mean? Like this CERN thing is supposed to be so powerful and supposed to be able to whatever it's supposed to do. But what is going on in the spirit realm? Like this is what we have to be aware of, because it's that same kind of thing going on for our benefit, like the power that's being gathered spiritually now that we have access to. Like this is how we have to be thinking, because most of us don't look at life in a holistic way. We just take things like just right before our eyes, like the mundane. But we have to understand the spiritual world and what's going on there as a reflection of what's going on here in the physical realm, because the two are truly one. You know what I'm saying? So the more that they're talking about destruction and all of these things in the spirit realm, we have to know the life that's being generated in the spirit realm. You know what I'm saying? But this is like, having that holistic perspective.
As we embrace,
so we don't have any fear.
As we embrace a continuous spirit experience of synchronicity, millions of individuals will be unleashed to follow their destinies. And we will all find a place in the working world, which is in need of freedom from corruption. And this way, all the institutions of life are moved towards a perfect level of functioning. Capitalism itself, business at every level, food production, the problems of poverty, chemical pollution, and government regulation will all become enlightened. This enlightened conscious evolution works because it happens through an effort all at once, replacing the top-down efforts by corrupt governments. The result is an economic development that frees up more and more time for individuals to pursue higher energy states directly with others. Eventually, the basic need of humanity can then all be automated and provided as we focus on synchronicities that will carry us to ever greater spiritual consciousness. Over time, Such growth will transform us into a spiritual form and unite our current dimension with the afterlife dimension, ending the cycle of birth and death. Humanity's destiny is gradually to bring the intelligence that inspires the heavenly realms into the earthly domain. We are in New Earth, yo.
Come on. So this is talking about.
Come on.
This is talking about like levels of consciousness, yo. Like they're talking about how we ascend and our levels of consciousness. Because if we just stay in this mundane, it's the chakra system, that survival of the fittest level. If we don't do that work to elevate up into higher levels of consciousness, then we'll stay trapped in a reality like this. But the most people that are about that work of elevating their level of consciousness, the way that we see life, the way that we see each other, as more people do this, this is going to naturally change the reality that we exist in. This is what's going to bring the healing into those things that are being destroyed when we understand our oneness with nature, and we're able to live amongst nature in harmony. We're able to live amongst each other in harmony. These things that are causing so much suffering on earth will be enlightened as the enlightened people take their positions in these areas. Like this is how this go, but we have to ascend in our level of awareness of who it is that we truly are. One of the most important things, if not the most important thing, is when we get up each day, who are you perceiving yourself to be? Because whoever it is you perceiving yourself to be, your life is going to be a reflection of that.
One of the
it's going to be a reflection.
One of the things that this also makes me think about is a process that Conjure and I just recently went through. Community was necessary. Nothing that could happen unless all of the community was there working together in order for these things to have taken place for us, right? So everybody had to be there. Everybody had to be working. Everybody knew what their particular part was to play in this process. And regardless of how people felt about each other, they were able to overcome their egos in order for the collective to come together for the work to be done. This is what we're talking about, yo. Like we have to be able to, what I know now is that this year was a year of the ego dying.
Right.
Of the ego dying, and in that ego death, now we are visual. Now what we are seeing, we are babies. Literally, we are babies looking at this new world. And what is this new world growing into? What it is growing into, what we want is to bring heaven to earth.
Right.
That's the whole point.
Because heaven and earth is one. Like, how is that? Like, yo, heaven and earth is one. Like the sun shines down to earth and the light causes things to grow. Like the moon impacts the ocean, and it deals with the queen's cycles and just all the impact that the moon has on this earth. Every planet within our solar system or within the Milky Way has an impact on the processes that happen on earth. Like it's a oneness, you know what I mean, that we are all sharing in. And so we have to come back into that understanding. Like we all need each other. Like we need the stars, we need the sun, we need the earth and the food that it produces, we need the water, like we need the fresh air, like I need you, you need me. Like this is a reality of everything needing each other itself. This is a reality of that,
which is African centered thinking,
consciousness. And so like,
yes,
even right now, like most people like can't even come together for a common goal. Like even though we see the direction that society is trying to take us in, it's still hard for people, you know what I mean, to come together and like, yo, let's pool our resources. Like we see what's coming. Let's begin to create this new world among ourselves. Like let's be a part of the healing process that's taking place in nature. Like it's hard for people to come together and even do that, even though we're living in the kind of situations that we are living in. But that divide and conquer is still at play.
I see.
Like the love that we should be having, the oneness that we should be living in is still it's still not really there. But once it get there and we understand that we need each other and we have to be there for each other, then the way we live our lives is going to begin to change and reflect that when we truly understand how much we need each other
It's here now.
It's going to begin
What
to
is happening is
reflect
that more and more people are awakening to the truth of who it is that they are, and as that healing work takes place in your own life, it's only going to bring us together. It's only going to bring us together. So that's where we are.
In real time.
And I just want to let y'all know. I know it's 3:00. We're moving towards the end. You know, this is going to be like the last ones are going to be kind of fast. So I just want to let y'all know. So these are some of the ways that spirit will begin to speak to you. Dream contact, of course. Many people encounter their loved ones who have passed away in dreams. Sometimes the dreams are accompanied by the impression of meeting them. When the dreams are uplifting, they can reconnect us with your ancestors and assist in personal healing. You can receive helpful messages about your present life. Some of the dead are not at peace and are trying to contact you.
And remember, personal messages that can come from people, animals, all kind of situations.
Anything in a dream.
So or it's just in reality.
So it's really important, especially if you're a dreamer, to start journaling, even if it's just the word. Journal whatever it is that you can remember about the dream, and over time it will increase. And also what it'll do is give you specific meaning to what your dreams are saying. So even though like in the beginning, and we'll get into this more, you might say, let's just say a butterfly, and go look it up online. What is a butterfly? Which we know is transformation. In your dream, if you go ahead and see it in your dream, and it could be healing for you, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. So when you write down your dreams, you start to give symbolic meaning to the things that happen, or the signs or the symbols in your own dreams,
and in your own life,
and in your life. Absolutely.
Daily life.
The cultivation of lucid dreaming and meeting the ancestors will assist in learning how to interpret dreams on a symbolic level. When one adopts a relaxed approach to symbolic communications with the ancestors, any moment can be a time of direct and intimate contact. The development of communicating with the ancestors will become more intricate and intense over time.
And this is just everyday life, like being able to look at life in a symbolic way, a symbolical way, and stop taking everything so literal. You know what I mean? Being able to see something and be able to extract the wisdom out of what you are seeing. You know what I mean? Like for like in nature, like the trees, or just nature, the butterfly, like all of these things, the deer, just whatever, like everything is symbolical, everything has a message. We are here to bring a message into this world. We're even here for that. Everything is communicating something, but we have to be able to interpret that which it is communicating. And this is what the language of the gods is, because all of nature is truly speaking right now.
Interestingly, and this is the way our ancient ancestors left I'm so thankful to them for leaving the writings on the walls, but in the scroll that in every way they have left evidence of their wisdom. Yes, but so much of our ancestral communication came in the form of signs and symbols. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like the English language. The English language actually takes away so much from the power of the words or the symbols that were used, but in our in ancestral times and ancient times, it was symbology that was used for communication.
The way nature was interpreted by the ancient ones to keep them in tune with nature in the way that they obviously were.
Spirit speaks through animal totems. Animals are messages of spirit as well. Chance encounters with animals are spirit trying to get your attention too. Animals have been used through various ancient cultures, such as the Kemetic, Native American, ancient Mayan cultures, etc. Sometimes they were used in a story to teach a lesson. Right. When coming upon them in waking life, it would remind you of a story being told. Spirit will give you messages from learning the attributes of animals today. Right. Right. So you, again, we already kind of discussed that a little bit earlier. You might encounter a deer or, a butterfly. You can go and you can research to see what these are. You know what I'm saying? By just putting animal totems into Google or animal symbology of a particular animal, you can do it that way. But eventually what you'll come to see is that you'll have your own meaning for these animals.
Or you'll see how nature is communicating with you. That's right. You'll see how nature is communicating with you.
We actually
sitting outside and a butterfly come land on you. That's a message. Like what is the message of the butterfly? You know what I'm saying? Because that's obviously for me right now.
Absolutely, especially if it lands on you.
Right.
Spirit speaks through numbers. There's a truth in math being a universal language. We all can recognize numbers despite language barriers. In the ancient practice of numerology, it teaches us the significance of numbers. The only numbers are 1 through 9. All the rest are duplications of or alterations of these, and 0 is equivalent to nothingness. Master numbers are duplicates of each other, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Higher numbers regenerated are not considered master numbers, but just amplifying the vibration. In the beginning, recognizing the sequences of numbers, especially when they are reoccurring, will alert you to a message just for you. This can be recognized as numbers that have a deep significance for you, destiny numbers, birthdays, spiritual transitional birthdays, etc. So even with angel, that's when we're coming into angel numbers, right? This is when you start to see the 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5. Those are spiritual messages for you that you should look up. But then over time, what you'll start to notice as well is that it may not come in duplication type form in this type of way. It could just be a series of numbers, right? So let's say that you were moving and where you moved to, the number was 1, 2, 6, 7. Then you go look up and see what the angel number 1, 2, 6, 7 means, because that's the vibration of the energy of the home you're moving into.
You want to do that.
You see what I'm saying? Numbers are, if you're seeing things, if something catches your eye, and it's not like, oh, I'm driving down the street and reading every license plate that comes past me or whatever. But when they stand out, when something is standing out to you for whatever reason, whether it's animals, numbers, signs, whatever, those are the indications from spirit that you need to pay attention.
Right.
You need to do some research. You need to see what spirit is trying to say to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These are just some of the signs that spirit is speaking to you. Hold on just a minute. Let me move this again.
It's the last slide, everybody.
Okay, serious.
I know it's been a while. I know it's been a long class.
Signs that spirit is speaking to you is 1, a change in the air could be experienced through chills or heat, seemingly out of nowhere.
Right.
2, visions, daydreams, deja vu can be a message from spirit. Sometimes it can also be a warning. 3, messages can pop in your head. It will again seem random. Many times messages from spirits are not something you are consciously thinking about. 4, things moving without the assistance of a person can be a clear indication of spirit attempting to get your attention. Sometimes it's just for recognition. Other times it is because they want you to do something or be aware of something. 5, chill bumps or a gentle caress can be an indication of spirit. 6, specific songs, quotes, smells can signal a loved one is reaching out to you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's just reassurance or even an indication of an offering they may want. Mm-hmm. 7, shadows or hearing someone call your name. Sometimes you may see things out of your peripheral vision. You may also hear someone speaking to you. This could also be indicative of spirit speaking. And 8, feeling the presence around you is because they are around you, protecting you, guiding you, and loving you along the way. Questions, comments, feedback, concerns? We're going to open up the mics. How y'all feeling?
I want to say ladies first if anybody else got something to say, because, you know, I done missed half the class, but I obviously came in perfect timing because, like, everything y'all is saying is everything I've been experiencing over the course of these last few weeks. Like, I know some of y'all probably see my posts and stuff, and, like, I'll be all over the place, and I kind of do that on purpose, just so nobody's able to pinpoint kind of, you know what I'm saying, what I got going on. But in reality, like, all is well and getting better, like, every day, bro. And, like, these messages been crazy as hell. Like, the dreams been vivid. Like, I haven't remembered a dream in like 3 weeks probably. And this let me just say this, around the 4th or 5th, my energy changed, as we all know what's going on right now. And it just changed for the better. Like, everything, I just started feeling different. And it's even funny because I blocked somebody that I really, really did not want to let go. And it's so crazy how my energy has changed since, how everything feels better since, how things just fall into my lap, or how things are just happening since. Messages, I'm having my dreams again. Like, and when I say the dreams vivid, like, I had a dream with them in it the other night. And it's so crazy because they were telling me all these things that I know they would never tell me in real life. Like, But I know that all these things they're telling me are things that I'm probably protecting myself from blocking her. Things that, the ancestors, or whomever is out here, had got my back like that, just keeping me out the loop, because I don't need to be in that loop and she don't need to be in mine. And you know what I'm saying? Like it's just a lot happening at once, but it's like cool too. It's like, all right, like it's all good. I just seen the cardinal while I was on the phone talking to my homegirl. Why we was, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause that's why I wasn't on time, because my homegirl called me she needed me, and I'm normally that person people call anyway. So that was another thing. Like as soon as I got off the phone and came into this, y'all were talking about how, people coming to you and you like us needing each other. And I literally tell people this constantly, like, yo, we need each other. I tell my homies, I tell randoms, like, listen, we all need each other for real. If y'all need anything I can help with, I'm gonna do it. Like, just let me know. Talk to me. Like, people, if I can't answer the phone, if I don't get to a text, hit me with a voice text. Just get it off your chest, bro. Like, you don't have to, don't even worry about whether I respond or not. Just get it off you and then forget about it. And when I get to it, I'm gonna get to it and we're gonna chop it up. But other than that, it's just like, everything y'all are saying, man. Like I ain't been here on the phone but 10, 15 minutes, but everything y'all been saying, man, has been like spot on. And I can only imagine what the rest of the slides look like, because it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. I'm not like, like it's beautiful, man. And
it is beautiful.
In all of the chaos, is still so much order.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like at the same time, like, you feel me? I seen something that said, it's crazy that I feel like I'm everything and nothing at the same time. And it's so crazy, because when I seen that, my homeboy was saying something about it, and he was like, dang, I feel you, bro. But I told him, I said, that's perspective, bro. I said, it's balance. I said, everything wouldn't be everything without nothing, and nothing wouldn't be nothing without everything, bro. I said, you got to see it from a different perspective. You seen it from a point of, like I said, from pain, from hurt. You seen it from a spot of, oh man, I'm just, woe is me. Instead of thinking, oh, it's me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's me.
You feel me?
I like that.
And yeah, I'm gonna have to write that one down for a song or something. I don't know. But yeah, that just overall, that just has been the biggest thing lately. And just the way opportunities are exposing themselves, the way people are exposing themselves, the way I don't even have to separate myself from people anymore. Like, I can't say too much more. I'll be talking to y'all all day if that's the case. I'll be getting y'all caught up.
We appreciate it, Karim. It's nice to see you.
Hey, I appreciate y'all, man. I had to make sure I kept my video in, because I be trying to not be on video. So I was like, let me do something different this time. We tuned in now.
I say, bro.
Yes. Right on time. That's the way the ancestors work. That's the way the spirit works. Putting you exactly where you need to be, exactly when you need to be there, you know?
And I'm also glad to be on here with y'all, man. Much love as always, man.
Much
for real.
Love, brother.
Anybody else?
Let me see.
Peace, family. I just wanted
to
hey, I just want to speak on my trip yesterday to the beach. So I have really been like struggling trying to go to the beach pretty much all summer, y'all. Something just kept popping up, money issues. I had to go do something else, whatever. Finally, yesterday, the night before, I was like, I'm going to the beach. I don't care what happens, I'm going to the beach. Ended up checking the weather. It was like rain all day. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Went to sleep. I woke up about maybe like 5:50. Checked the weather, bright skies. I was like, I'm getting up, I'm going to the beach. So got up, went to the beach, rode out. When I got there, I instantly like started feeling sad, because that was like one of my last trips I took with my mom before she passed away. But then, I brought my journal, because I wanted to write stuff down and really like release. Like I had the intentions of, this is going to be a release session for me. This is going to be healing. I'm going to let stuff go. Like, this is exactly what I came to do. And it's so funny, I got there like maybe like 9:30 that morning. It was only a couple of people. And I was like, dang, I got all this stuff. I don't know how to set this fan up, this big old my umbrella. Some man came up and was like, hey, I'll help you. Set my stuff up for me. Appreciate you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. So, I was like, Sasha, just relax. Like I started feeling anxious all of a sudden. So I started writing. Whatever I was feeling, started writing. Then I went to the water and I just kind of let the water run through my feet, and kind of sat there a little bit, came back, did some breathing, and I kind of laid down And I had took some shrooms beforehand because I really, really want to tap in, because I noticed I'm really good. I got really good about not feeling what I don't want to feel, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Like if I don't want to feel it, I'm going to, for what, like my defense mechanisms have got that good. So I took some shrooms just to make sure I'm really, really tapping into what I need to heal and release. So that, man, y'all, like everything y'all talked about just now, it was confirmation, like the synchronicity of everything. Like literally, I kept sitting up because I kept like hearing spirits, and I was like, am I tripping? Like, seriously. But it was so beautiful, and I just sat there, and when I tell y'all, I just laid in the sand, I felt healing on a cellular level. Like it was so beautiful, and I just caught myself smiling to myself. I was smiling, I laughed, I cried, but through it all, I just felt really, really good on the way home. And I'm mindful now. I care too much about what people think of me. I'm learning that. So I'm mindful about that now, because every time I would look around, I start crying, like, oh, somebody's watching me or something. I feel well. So I was like, Sasha, no, this is not about you. This is about you. This is not about them. It's about you. It doesn't matter what's going on. It's about you. So I got in the car and I really just let it go, the whole ride home. About halfway home, I felt so tired. Like, gosh, dang, y'all, I'm about to fall asleep on this road. So I called my brother. Nobody answered. I called my homeboy. He didn't answer. I was like, all right, Spirit, what you trying to say? All of a sudden, I got this burst of energy. Started dancing, and I was all right, I'm up now. Okay, Spirit, I hear you. So, every little thing, and even up coming to that day, I was on my way to somewhere, and I seen a turtle crossing the road. And something told me to stop, and I did not stop, y'all. Did not stop. On the way back yesterday, I seen a turtle, but he was upside down, dead in the road, it seemed like. So now when I get off this, I'm definitely looking up what turtles mean. Right. And even when y'all know I did the destiny read with you guys and the numbers you guys gave me, I haven't been paying attention too much of it, but at the end of it, what you just said, didn't even realize it until you said it. My address is 6137 to my mom's house. The first number is 61 to my my destiny number. So I was like, y'all, when I tell y'all I did not want to move back in this house.
Listen,
and I literally 61, just looked up at everything. Yep, 61. I just looked it up and I was like
37.
Mm-hmm.
And that 61 deals with the heart connection.
Yep.
And 37 is the family. That's the
okay.
family.
Yeah. So it was just sense. Like I'm starting to sweat right now just talking to y'all. But yeah.
Right.
It is, yeah. I even now, because that's what I got off camera, because my head started pounding when you started talking. But it's been like that for like the past week, and it's been my left side. And it felt like my headache moved behind my ear. So it was like, I felt like Spirit was trying to tell me, like, this is what you need to pay attention to. Like, tune in for real, for real. So, but yeah, that's all I wanted to share, y'all.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
And, I can tell that you, like, your energy is heightened. You know what I mean? Like, that you're dealing with a higher vibration about yourself and about life and about the reality that you exist in, the way that you're beginning to perceive yourself in the world around you. Like, this is what we're talking about. How do you perceive yourself in the world around you? Because the way that you perceive yourself, or who you perceive yourself to be, is the way you're going to live your life. It's the reality that you're going to be a part of. It's many different worlds here. Like, this is a multi-dimensional universe. People living in different worlds every day. So we want to be the architect of the world that we are now living in. Like, we want to change that old world, you know what I mean? That old architecture, you know what I mean? And build a whole new one, because we know that we have the power to do that. We're truly here to create our own realities, and you're beginning to experience the new world that you have entered into, and how much control that you have on what you're going to experience.
Yes.
In this new world.
And another thing, just to help you along, like when that anxiety starts to hit because you start worrying about what other people may be thinking, looking, whatever, put a shield of invincibility around you.
You can do that.
Make yourself invisible, so that now I am only paying attention to myself. There's nobody but me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have so much power. And let me just say, you are glowing, child. You were glowing in the picture. Okay. I don't know about the crying on another. I didn't see it. It must have lightened you up. You seem so much lighter, as we continue to walk through this journey together. Right. So I'm very, very happy for you. Very proud. It's not for me to be proud of you. It's for you to be proud of yourself.
Yeah, we
I
proud of you
always
too.
say that. You know what I'm saying? Be proud of yourself, but know that we are proud of you as well. Keep
Right.
walking, sis.
Right.
Anyone else wants to share?
Look at Tiana. Tiana, what's up, Tiana?
I'm here. I'm here.
Hey,
Yeah.
girl. Hey.
Hi, y'all. I mean,
Peace.
I'm so happy that I popped in today. Like
Right.
everything just aligned. So, I do my teaching on Sunday mornings. And then I had a meeting to go to, an impromptu, but it got canceled. So, just speaking of signs in the language of the gods, Spirit has been telling me to finish this personal project that I'm putting out. And so that's what I've been doing as I've been listening to you all. I've been steadfast in doing a project. And as I'm doing a project, y'all are talking about every single thing that I'm doing. I mean, literally, when y'all said wisdom, I was on the wisdom page.
Wow.
When you said numbers, I was plugging in the numbers.
Wow.
When you said the elements, I was putting in the elements.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so what it deals with is 80 different mental states of mindfulness. And as I'm listening, it resonated what you all were teaching today, resonated so deeply in the fact that, the universe, earth, the planets, the numbers, the elements, your chakras, everything is always speaking to you, giving you provision for everything that you need. You're never really in a state of scarcity. Even scarcity is provision, right? Going back to what the young man said about, the all and the nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just amazing. And I love what y'all are doing.
Thank you.
And I even see this as a sign for me that I am in alignment. Popping in.
Right, you're supposed to be. Too.
Right. I haven't popped in since last year. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I love to see the collective, like y'all doing it.
Right. Thank you. Like, and you're absolutely right. Like, it's a reason why you are here today. Like, this is what we was talking about in the class. Like, these things that we look at as coincidences. Like, nah, these are messages from spirit that we have to pay attention to, because they're showing us or guiding us to what our next step is, like what we need to understand in that moment about ourselves and about life and our next steps and things like that. So we have to, like, you're doing the right thing by taking note. You know what I mean? That you're here today in this class. Specifically.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then just being in alignment with everything that you already have going on. Like, it's a beautiful thing to hear all the stories of how you can see the collective, right? How we come together. Like, it's not no coincidence you popped. There's a few people that popped in today that I haven't seen in a while.
Popped in.
You know what popped in.
Baba popped
you know what I'm saying? Earlier.
And Baba popped in.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
stamp on it.
There's a couple people that's in here today that haven't been here for a while, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm coming today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm showing my face today. I don't usually show my face, but I'm going to show my face today. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's beautiful how the connection to spirit will put you exactly where you are supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Every single time. And that I'm so thankful that each and every one of you opened yourself up enough to make sure that you made it today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because as we said earlier, like, even though we are in the position of teaching you all, y'all feed us too. Right. You know what I'm saying? You don't know.
Our teachers,
you didn't know that
online today.
When you popped on, when he finally, because I knew you were here, but he didn't know, so I didn't say nothing to him. He at the end of class, he was like, "Is that Tiana here?" Yeah. Oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't know, we really be getting excited when we see y'all faces. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they came back. You know what I'm saying? Because and it's beautiful to see how the connections continues to grow. Even when we walk away for a while, we can still come back. You know what I'm saying? And the energy is still there. The energy is still flowing. The love is still flowing. The oneness is still growing.
And just let me say, like, and I always make mention of this, like, it's much more heightened when we're able to be in person. And we're able to be in each other. Like, this is the computer. This is the computer. You know what I mean? Like, yo, it's only so much. But when we're able to be amongst
each
each other as tribe,
Mm-hmm.
as family, and to really connect and feel each other's energy, to look into someone's eyes and feel that they're genuine and sincere about what they're saying, like all the things that we communicate with each other when we are around one another, like that's when it really becomes magic.
But we experience
Right.
what really, and just being honest, like the fact that this happens the way it happens, the fact that you all come to class and we are able to vibe in this way
Right.
is like, this was something that was very concerning to me specifically before we started ET. Like my concern was that, will you be able to feel me through this artificial means? Because I know what happens when we together in person. Can you feel me through these artificial means? And so y'all showing up, y'all coming in spontaneously or every week. For those who come every week faithfully, you know what I'm saying? Like it allows me to, it confirms, like the synchronicity, the insights were saying, it confirms that, yeah, we can feel you even through this digitalized way. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for sharing, T.
Definitely. I mean, because also just to add on to what you're saying, I'm gonna get out your way. It's the internet. It's just an artificial way that they're duplicating what we already had. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's the internet interconnectivity. Of course we're gonna feed you. You know what I mean? Of course we're gonna feel you because they're trying to duplicate what we are.
True indeed.
So
that's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. Just trying to duplicate our design, the grand design of this universe, in an artificial way, though.
We're gonna go to Ital, and then we'll go to Mocha.
Peace, everybody. Peace. So I always enjoy what everybody has to say, but I am always like extra excited when I hear from the young men and see the young men who are participating in this. And I just want to encourage y'all to keep on coming, keep on building with other brothers and sharing this information with those that you feel like you can trust like that. Because I mean, like, we really, really, really need our kings to be able to rise up. And we are truly moving in a space where, of course, we're continuing to pass the baton onto y'all younger generations. And I mean, it's just so encouraging and so beautiful to see y'all who are so connected. So I just want to say, just keep it up, please. Keep it up. Keep on coming. Keep on telling your friends. Keep on shining your light, brothers. Keep on shining your light.
And I'm glad that you even said that, Ital, especially to the brothers, because here at ET we have been mostly feminine energy for years now, outside of Conjure. You know what I'm saying? To see Karim, to see Jay pop on and share. You know what I'm saying? And then the fact that they're so young. You know what I'm saying too? Like the divine masculine is resurrecting too. You know what I'm saying? Like we will have balance. We will have harmony. You know what I'm saying? And it's important for the divine feminine to see the safety, security, protection of safe men. You know what I'm saying? Because so many of us have been damaged, so many of us have been damaged by the ways of the world that we start to really doubt the power that our men hold. You know what I'm saying? So especially those that are healing specifically. So
and thank you. And I'm just grateful to be among the queens, like the mothers of the universe, like the mothers of all civilization. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all are truly the reasons that we are, that we even desire to rise up. Like everything that we do, like we really do it because of women. Like, you know what I'm saying? To impress or just whatever. Like we do it for women. Like, and men are here to be able to rise to the occasion to meet y'all in a balance. Like this is why we are here. Like, and and it feels good to be acknowledged that that we are at least trying and attempting to do that. That we ain't running from it. Me and brother Kareem, Jay, other brothers, you know what I mean, to rise to the occasion so we can meet y'all in a balanced way, because that's our duty, is to rise to the occasion. Like even when it comes to sex, I ain't ready to go all the way down it. But if a man can't rise to the occasion in that, like it's meant for us to be able to rise to the occasion. And this is what we are attempting to do. Me, brother Kareem, Jay, the other Jay, you know what I mean? It's just, we here for it. We here for it, to rise to the occasion, to meet y'all in a balanced way.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate it.
Right. I mean.
What's going on, Mocha?
Hey, family, peace.
Peace.
So I was going to just share my experience yesterday when I went out. I woke up, and as soon as I got up, I heard, you need to go outside and just meditate. You need to raise your vibrations. So I jumped up, like it felt like an emergency. So I immediately jumped in the shower so I could go, I get to, I needed to be by water. So I just felt this urge to be near water. I'll go to this park and I go to the pier and I get out on the water. The water is completely calm. But when I got on that pier, the water started moving towards me. And it scared the shit out of me at first, y'all. It's like a fish announced what the water was about to do. I'm not making this up, y'all. A fish came and jumped right in front of me while I was on the pier and made a splash. As soon as the fish did that, the water started coming to me. And I was like, oh my God, what is about to happen? So I freaked out and I went and I sat in the grass, right? Trying to understand the message. And then I heard, just meditate. You just need to meditate. So I was sitting in the grass and I was just healed by nature. I just kept hearing, I am pure light. I am pure love. And I just kept, you know what I'm saying? Just repeating that to myself so I could know who I am. Cause I've been distracted for the past week, if I'm honest. I've been distracted trying to get Mocha artistry up and running. So, I hadn't been doing my meditation. And it was like, yesterday, I was like, that's enough, we about to make ourselves real to you again. So you can get that magical feeling back. So you can be enthused and encouraged to do what you do. You know what I mean? Like stop wrestling with these low vibrational people. You know what I'm saying? Like raise your expectations and standards for yourself as far as how you deal with people. You know what I'm saying? Be honest with yourself about whether or not you, like the slide was saying, manipulating people, or what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So it made me face myself, and I was so free and so healed. You know what I'm saying? And like sis was saying, she was scared to cry in front of people. I did not care about them people. I was like, fuck these people. Y'all finna hear me chant. Y'all finna hear me sing. I'm gonna sing to my ancestors, and you gonna keep fucking walking. And that's just how it is. So I was just grateful for that whole entire experience, just to be free, because I don't, do stuff like that out loud publicly. That was my first time, like actually just being free in myself, just being free enough to do that. And it just felt really good. So everything to this class has been everything. Once again, it's magical.
It's magical. It's enchanted.
Ashe. That is a breakthrough.
That's a breakthrough.
That's a breakthrough right there, yo. Like, look at that. It's really interesting. A lot of times people be like, yo, you keep dope people around me. I'll be like, you dope too. But it's just that we don't recognize ourselves as being dope. You know what I'm saying? We don't recognize the beauty of ourselves, the dynamicism of ourselves, the divine within ourselves. And so we tend to look at other people like it's something outside of ourselves, when it's not. It's something within you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, and one of the things, there's I can't remember the name of the song right now, but there's a song this dad told me about, and it basically said, I'll take you from your man, give you freedom, and then send you right back to him. And now he got to deal with you free. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is my pleasure. It is my absolute pleasure to bring freedom into your life. You know what I'm saying? So that you can feel the dopeness that you are. So then when we're standing beside each other, they see dope forces. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm dope, but that we are dope. I am because you are. We are. I am because we are.
Right.
It's the collective. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It is a very interesting thing because it's very personal. It's a very healing is so very personal. But as we heal, we start to see that we are all one. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to you and the fish that let you know that it was on its way. The healing was on its way, rushing towards you. You know what I'm saying? And you also are looking lighter. Your voice sounds lighter. The way you speak is lighter. The things you say, whether you recognize it or not, the things you post is even changing in the ways that you express yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we're breaking through.
Right. Right.
Go ahead, Conjure.
No, you know what I mean? It's just, you know, like one of the things that I got from your story is how nature began to respond to you. You know what I mean? Whenever you came out there and, you know, like the way things happen and the water start flowing towards you, like how nature began to respond to you. Like, this is how this works. Like, life is always what we are drawing to ourselves. Like, and once we understand that, when we truly can hold that awareness of who it is that we are, then for one, it'll be no one else to blame for the things that we experience in our life. But for another thing, we'll understand how much control we have over those things that we are going to experience, because it's only going to be a reflection. So if we truly want, you know, to experience life in a certain kind of way, like we have to understand that we are the power for that. Like, it's not coming from anyone else. Don't expect anyone to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? But you have the power to create it. Like, we don't have to expect no one else to give it to us. And this takes us out of manipulating people for their energy, because we understand that we are our own source of that which we want to experience from the actions that we take on a daily basis, and understanding how important the actions that we take on a daily basis are as it relates to what we're going to experience in life, and how we can transform our life. Like, no matter what or how our life has been up to this point, in this moment, we have the power to begin to change all of it. You know what I mean? Through the changing of ourselves. Like, that's the only thing constant about life is change. But one of the issues is that we get stuck. We get stuck. And you know what I mean? And we're just remaining the same and wondering why everything is happening in the same way that it has always happened in our life. Like, it's because we're not changing. But what we're experiencing, the stories that y'all are telling, are stories of what y'all are experiencing because of the changes that y'all are making in y'all life. So y'all are beginning to have different experiences, and you will continue to have different experiences according to how in depth the change is that you make or we make in our own life. Like, life can get so much, life is going to get so much more profound as we begin to transform on like those deeper levels, those deeper aspects of who it is that we truly are, and can tap into that and bring that up into our everyday life, and then reap the benefits of walking in that kind of vibration of who it is that we are. And then, you know, like, we find ourselves in a higher place, or a more elevated place, or a more connected reality. Just all of the things that we are talking about, but it's all going to be a reflection
of the work that
like, of who it is that we are, and the way that we perceive ourselves, or who we perceive ourselves to be. It's probably the most important thing, because people get up each day perceiving themselves to be so many different things that have no truth, or, you know what I mean, nowhere near the reality of who it is we authentically are. But we wake up and we take these perceptions of ourselves, the perception of a drug dealer, the perception of a player, the perception of all of these different ego perceptions that we have ourselves, that put us in a world that reflects the perception that you have of yourself. This is how this works.
Yeah.
And so, like, what if we get up each day with perceiving ourselves as a divine being, as a being that's always in the natural flow of the synchronicities of his life, that's leading you to your greatest potential? Like, what if we get up perceiving ourselves in that kind of way? Like, even the Bible tells you, like, you are what you think. You are what you think you are. Like, that's the beautiful thing about life. You can become whatever you want to become. All you have to do is like think yourself to be that. Because life is mental. The universe is a mental creation. And I ain't ready to go into no whole other class. I'm like Kareem, you know what I mean? Just
let me go ahead.
Be like water, you know what I mean? But for real, yo, like, this is our power, yo. Like, we have it.
You stepping into
we
your
have
power.
it right now. Like, we have to be aware of our own selves. Man, know thyself. Then you should know God in the universe. But it starts from knowing yourself. You know what I mean? Who it is we are, the powers that we hold, the mystery of self, like the wisdom of the creation of our being, like the wisdom that came into manifesting what is called a man, the design behind that, or the wisdom that that's there from the design of saying I'm a woman, like the mentalness behind it, the wisdom that designed that. Like, we are that wisdom, like, but we live our place from life from lesser awarenesses of who it is that we are. But what if we got up each day and live our life from that divine wisdom of the creation of ourself, like that even came into this manifestation?
Yes.
The wisdom that was able to produce this, because that's who we are. That's who we are.
Anybody else?
Everybody good?
I just want to say it's always refreshing to talk to y'all, man. Y'all really be like affirming so much shit, and it's so crazy because I don't even be needing the affirmation anymore. But like, it's like double doses. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate I won't call it praise, but I just appreciate the acknowledgement of the fact that y'all can see the difference that we're trying to make.
That y'all are making.
That we are making. Yeah, facts that we are making. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that's the biggest thing, because y'all talked about how, we got to rise. And it's crazy because I tell all my homegirls, all my friends, all my women friends, especially, like, you got a safe space in me. You don't ever have to worry about me being one of these weirdos. Like, when you tell me about these weirdos, like, let me know so that we can decide what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just be talking. Sometimes I get to rambling, but y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is.
We with you, family. We with you, bro. And everything can't be put into words sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm gonna show y'all that sword I was talking about real quick, though. I will show y'all one of my swords real quick, because I remember and one of y'all said it was like Shango energy or something. I still haven't dug that deep yet, but I'm gonna show you anyway, because it's beautiful.
Oh, snap.
Okay. What is that?
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, it is.
And it was gold. Y'all know I couldn't leave that sitting where it was at.
It's beautiful.
And it's gold. I could not leave it.
It's gold?
It's gold. I could not leave. That's what I'm trying to make sure it's in the light. Yeah, it's not the light that's shining. Like, this is gold. I was like, oh, y'all got me bent if y'all think I'm leaving this here. So yeah, I just had to show y'all that real quick because I was so excited. I was so excited about that.
Super, I understand. I would love to go too. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to offer today? So to let you know, Ahati is doing the tarot card class this week. It is on the 14th. She has all the information for the class up in there. I have tagged it to the group pinned. So please go ahead. If you are planning to take the tarot card class, go ahead and register with her. And then sometime next month, you're tapping on my chair. And then, because you're tapping.
Great.
And then sometime next month, Sunny will be doing the candle magic class. So just be on the lookout for that as well. And Kim Renee is coming in as we're closing. What was I gonna say? I forgot now. Either way. Oh, okay. He wants his tablet. I understand. Good job with your altars, wherever you are at with your altars. It is a process. So you may have only one picture or one item. That's more than enough to begin. Do not be discouraged. Somebody said something about not being able to resurrect an altar, a small box. You can keep some sacred things in and let it go with you as you move about. That's what people who are in like the what do you call it? Like flying travel agencies do. You know what I'm saying? So you can always have your altar with you. And then you can always go outside and maybe pick a tree to give your offerings to. And then Sasha, you said something about your grandmother having an attitude.
Yeah, so my mom's mom, her name, everybody call her Tootsie. I met her once, but I was so young, I really can't remember that experience. But every time I'm around family or anything like that, they always tell me like, dang, you act just like Tootsie. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? But apparently, like, she could have a real nasty attitude sometimes. Like if you got on her bad side and try to tell her whatever, real small petite woman, they said I'm even built like her, like same size, everything. My facial expressions when I got attitude to the T. And it's funny because I embody so much of her, and I don't remember her, but she's been on my mind lately, and I was gonna ask, like, how do I know? You answered it in class, the random thoughts. So that's how I know her spirit is with me. And it was something. I was in a conversation with somebody. I was not trying to go off. I was like, trying to cut ties. And I was like, just want to leave peacefully, whatever. Something snapped, and I just went off like 2.5 seconds, and I was fine. And I was like, that was not me. Like, what just happened? Like, that was not me. And I bust out laughing. I mean, my energy was fine, but I was like, dang, whoo. And my grandma popped in my head like, all right, Toots, okay, girl, you showing up.
Yeah.
So I feel like she's been trying to show up. Well, she has been showing up for me because I'm so like, I will hold on to a relationship until I'm dead in the face. So I feel like she's been showing up like, no, we getting this together. Like, no, if you can't do it, let me step in.
Yeah.
So it's been that for me. Yeah.
Absolutely. And they will do that. They will definitely do that, especially when, we have difficult times setting our boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
They will come in and they will set the boundaries for us. In some situations, they will take you, they will remove you, or like Harem said, remove the people from you. Right. And one of the things that we need to be very mindful of is that when those things happen, it's for our protection. It's for our own good. Like, we can't fight against
nature. Because remember, like, real quick, like, this is all a part of nature. Like, within nature, we have a season within nature that everything's fall away. And we have to recognize what season we are in our own personal life, like, to be able to understand, oh, okay, I must be in this season in my life where it's time for things that are no longer serving me to fall away, so we can allow that process to happen. Because most people, like, instead of allowing those things to fall away, they hold on to things that are no longer serving. You know what I'm saying? So new things can't take its place in your life because of the old things that we are holding on to, because we fear that losing, that falling away time period that we all go through in our life, versus embracing it, especially when these things that happen naturally.
And then, and one of the things we have to just make, and I just want to make sure we reiterate, is that as we are moving through this process of transitioning into a more spiritual lifestyle, our vibrations are changing, are shifting, our frequencies are shifting. And so you only resonate with the frequencies that you are. Right. And so, a lot of times certain situations can come up to try to keep you at a certain level of frequency. Right. But when it's time for it to, like, as you are raising yours, you know what I'm saying, then you cannot be bound by that frequency any longer. So just being okay with that process. And not that it's not going to hurt, and not that you won't have emotions tied to it. You'll go through those things. It's that, you'll flow through them, you'll allow yourself to feel them, and then they'll slowly drift away, and you'll find that the universe never leaves you without. Right. With every person that, is moving away from you, something is coming to replace it. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that could be spiritual, and it can be in physical form as well. So just being open to that process. New beginnings. To have them, old things must go. Yes. So old things must go. Everybody is good? All righty then. Well, we will be seeing you all again on, what's today? The 10th. We will be seeing you all again on the 24th of July. That class is about divination. So I am recreating that course this time. I would suggest getting a pendulum, or even if you have oracle cards, I think that's the direction we're going to be moving in. So next class is going to be more interactive, meaning that you all are going to be talking to us more than we talking to you, so that we can you start being comfortable with being able to get the answers now. Right. So far we've been talking about speaking to spirit, recognizing when they're talking to you, but we want to also understand, right? We want to also understand that our questions are being answered, and how to get those questions answered for us. And then, like with the understanding that life itself is divination. Fact. We have to be able to interpret this reality. We got to. So until the next time, we love you. Peace out.
Peace, family.
Peace.